damn linebacker position. You know what? He's on the boundary side, man. Everything happens quicker there. This is that's a tough first game for him. You know, that they could have maybe moved Jalen Garnes down there, potentially, if they wanted to, or went with Joseph, but elected to keep everybody intact in the secondary. Cordell Jackson, I should say, not Joseph. And they'll at least start that way. And Reed, very good tackler. That's one of his skill sets, which is something, you know what, talking to the defensive players and JC shared today, that was the one area of their game that they probably on a defensive side of the ball were the most frustrated with. Their tackling wasn't very good in Montreal. Really the first game this year, I think we can say that. I do think the other thing, though, special teams, guys, it's been a few weeks here. Special teams, not the kicking game itself, but the coverage, as well as, you know, the return. Neither one's been good, right? The field goal kicking has been great. Punting, fine. But they've given up too many big returns on kickoffs, on punts. And I think they haven't had the returns they would like. So I'm expecting some changes schematically to special teams this week against Toronto. Also, there will be another change on the defensive line as Tamari Fox will be out, and look to see Corbin's going to come in, and we'll see what he can bring. Carmine Bastone, number 79 for Elks fans, really powerful, strong, and he's not going to start. He'll be the backup, but everybody rotates in on the D-line. And I'm interested to see how he's going to look, because in practice, and I know it's only practice, but in practice, man, he has looked good, real good. So Gavin Meyer will start, but you will see getting his first CFL action, Carmine Bastone, number 79. So there you go. Played for the Northwestern Wildcats prior to coming to the green and gold. So that'll be a new body, new face to look at. Coming up on the program today, Dan Rosen's going to join us. We got John Hodge, Yaremchuk, Struddy, Carius. We'll get some stats of the day. The roundtable, as mentioned, we'll hear from JC Sherritt. Also, Robbie Smith will be by. And we are going to talk kind of off-season. What off-season? Because here we are now. It's August 12th, and you can start to slowly ramp up some conversations because many of you are excited, I would think, about the upcoming season for the Edmonton Oilers, and you know what to expect. I will say, if there's one thing that I've noticed popped up more this offseason that I really just I can't. I'm trying to wrap my head around it to understand why there's a percentage of fans who are like, oh, I think Zach Hyman, you know what? I think he should be off of McDavid's line. And I'm like, what? Why? Right? I guess if you're going to load up McDavid and Draisaitl, sure, but I'm not sure I'm loving it. But Zach Hyman had 31 goals in 58 games last season. Okay, that's one of the best goal-scoring wingers in the NHL. And people are talking about starting him on the third line with Jason Dickinson, right? Because that prorates to about a 44-goal pace, in case you're wondering, for 31 in 58. And you're going to move the 44-goal scorer to a third line with the center iceman who has scored double digits in goals once in his career. Am I taking crazy pills? What the hell's going on? Why? Now, unless you feel that line's suddenly going to get way more offensive, I don't know, man. That's a pretty risky maneuver. Right? Like if you're loading up Draisaitl, McDavid, who's your third best forward? It's Zach Hyman. I'm not playing him on my third line with Dickinson. He then would have to play with Nugent Hopkins. To me, that's not even a discussion. I don't understand it. It's kind of odd to me. But hey, I get that people are excited about Savoy. And hey, I like Matt Savoy. I'd have no problem playing him in my top 6. But you know, Zach Hyman is your most is, without question, your most productive winger. And he's showing nothing. He didn't regress last year. He scored 31 goals in 58 games. 43.8 goal pace. Nothing wrong with that. And that was after a pretty significant wrist injury, which, last I checked, pretty important part of the anatomy when you're shooting the puck. So I understand wanting to get to young players and give them opportunities, but not at the expense of my top line right winger. That, I don't know, man. That just seems a little odd to me. So it got me to thinking, though. And I don't want to get too much into lines because we all know the lines are going to change. So at 5-on-5 specific, I'm not getting into special teams today because we're trying to keep it to a very centralized and focused topic. So I'm going to ask you, 5-on-5 Edmonton Oilers this season, who are the 6 forwards who you think, or not you think, that you would play the most minutes 5-on-5 specifically, right? I'm not, because obviously, you know what, if we get into line combinations, and the top 6 guys 5-on-5 don't necessarily have to be lines. It's just which 6 do you think, or you would, or Babcock, you choose, doesn't matter to me, on who you think is going to end up averaging, because I don't want to go with total, because if you miss 10 games, then obviously you wouldn't be there. I'm talking guys who average minute per game. And so in case you're wondering, last year at 5-on-5, do you know who the 6 Oilers were just before we start the process? The 6 Oilers last year who averaged the most 5-on-5 minutes per game. McDavid, 1656. Draisaitl, 1601. Hyman, 1519. Roslovic, 1406. He's not here. Vasily Podkolzin, 1356. Then you had Ryan Nugent-Hopkins was 6 at 1316, and Kasperi Kapanen was 7th at 1306. Okay, now Kapanen only played half the season. So Roslovic's out. And I think I shouldn't even say that. Let's go 4 to 6. I'll save you typing because everybody's going to have McDavid, Draisaitl, Hyman, I think, as top 6. Well, maybe not everybody. Someone's going to put Hyman on their third line. But when I'm looking at 5-on-5 ice time, I'd be stunned if Hyman isn't top 3 or 4 in your team. So, and we know McDavid and Draisaitl. I'll save you that one for sure. So just give me 4 to numbers 3, 4, 5, and 6. Which forwards do you think, and why? If you have somebody in there, I like Savoy, or I want Podkolzin, or maybe you want Jason Dickinson, who averaged 5-on-5 about 39 seconds less per game than Nugent-Hopkins last year. Now it's a new season. It's a new coach. Things can happen. Things can change. I don't expect it to be exactly identical to what the previous coach did. But most coaches also, most coaches at the NHL level, coach the players they feel that give them the best chance to win. And whether it's a young player, old player, middle-aged player, that doesn't matter. So give me your 3 to 6. Connor Halley, who are your 3? Because we're just assuming McDavid and Draisaitl's captain. Obviously, we don't need to repeat them all day long. So 3 to 6.
Well, get me Hyman, and the thought of putting him on the third line, to me, crazy. I get that he would be an amazing player there. We saw that in the playoffs a couple of years ago where he was running over every player that moved. But no, he's going to be riding shotgun with Connor McDavid for me. So he will be 3. Number 4, I'll go Vasily Podkolzin. You got to have him out there. I mean, if he scores goals, that adds to his value. But what he does, winning puck battles, going into the corners, freeing up space for Leon Draisaitl, he's going to be there for sure. I will have Matthew Savoy. I think that his ability to be a good defensive player as well keeps him as a lock in the top 6 with that offensive upside. Another guy who will win puck battles and hopefully generate some offense for the other guys out there. And then I'm going to go with Ryan Nugent-Hopkins. I think that, he's old, reliable. Connor McDavid, obviously, trust him, has a little bit of a history of going back and playing with him. I think there's a chance he gets shoveled down to the third line as well. But I've said it before, I don't think I'm quite on the coward train yet, that he's going to be thrown into that top 6 all season. I think there's going to be some growing pains. So I'll go with Nuge as well.
Okay. All right. There you go. We'll We'll get to that. We'll get Declan's later on. We'll get your thoughts on it. And just, I look at the orders and honestly, I like to look at a lot of kind of trends in the National Hockey League. And I do think, like, do you know one trend that we probably haven't talked about a lot has been the trend over the last 5 years in the NHL in how there's been gone are the days of like many teams being the free space in the bingo card. Last year, there was only one team below 70 points. That's a big change from just 5 years ago when you had 6 teams under 68 points. And I'm talking points because obviously, you know what, there's if we go into, way back, it can be skewed a little bit before the overtime point because obviously that came into play and that makes things a little bit closer at times, for sure. So, but if you just look at it recently, there has been more teams that don't completely suck. Like if you look at an NHL team this year, I look at one team without question in my mind is a lock not to make the playoffs. After that, there's others that I'm fairly confident in, but there used to be, before the start of the season, you could easily say 6, 7 teams. You'd be like, no chance. Because now most of us, I don't think anybody had the San Jose Sharks being in the playoff run up until the final week of the season last year. Hands up if you did, good for you, but I don't believe you because I didn't see it anywhere. Right? So you're seeing the bottom teams have come up because you remember it was only 5 years ago that in January in the Eastern Conference, there was a 10-point bulge between the 8th place team and the 9th place team. 10 points. Boston had also only played 40 games and they're in 8th place. Detroit was in 9th. Boston hadn't even reached the halfway point of the season. It was good night, Irene. We knew the top 8 teams. They ended up, the top 8 teams made the playoffs in the East that year. 16 points between 8th and 9th place. Not close. It's not close. Look at last year. Last year, with 1 week to go in the season, you had Ottawa sitting in 8th place, and you had 5 teams within 3 points of them, and 2 of them had a game in hand. Right? Even in the West, with 5 games to go, LA was actually behind Nashville, albeit they had a game in hand. They were 1 point behind him, and then they ended up passing him. Right? Like it's been a lot closer. And so is that because that trend has continued going from last year, there was only 2 teams who were below 72 points, or below 76 points, excuse me. 3 the year before that, 4 the year before that. Every year, the bad teams have become slightly more competitive. Now, they're not playoff teams yet, but the gap has lessened as far as you're like, okay, that's a guaranteed win night. I might not even watch the game. There's not as many of those. I think Vancouver this year, is there anyone, like there's teams who I think are going to miss the playoffs, the Chicago Blackhawks, but Bedard played unreal until he got hurt. Now he's going to miss the first probably 6 weeks of the season, which is, I think, going to be the reason why I wouldn't pick them to make the playoffs. But what if some of their other young guys all come out of nowhere like San Jose did last year? Like at least there's a chance. I don't think there's much of a chance in Vancouver. I'm sorry, I just don't see it. Right? Calgary, Seattle, I don't think they're playoff teams. But Seattle shocked us once before, so I'm not going to say 100%, but I'm fairly confident. In the East, honestly, I don't know. Like, are the Rangers that bad? They might be, but they got Shesterkin. Like, can they really be that bad? Because on paper, they shouldn't be that bad. Right? And in their division, outside of Carolina, maybe Washington, like, I don't think Pittsburgh grossly better or Philly's grossly better than the Rangers. So, like, outside of Vancouver, like, maybe Chicago because of the Bedard injury. Like, I'm not sure I see, like, a mortal lock of a team. I guarantee they'll be under 70 points.
Yeah, I would be with you on that one. And you look at the Rangers, like, they were okay on the road, but at home, they were just atrocious. Are they going to be that bad at home again? Like, the start of the year that they had was historic. with their inability to put the puck in the back of the net? I don't think so. Like, I think you look at kind of those middle teams that just missed the playoffs. I think they'll be right back in there again. The Vancouver Canucks stand out big time. Now the Blackhawks, we'll see if they have any more injuries. I think there's questions with that team, but even they were a 72-point season team last year. So yeah, to me, the way we look at it today, the Vancouver Canucks so far down in the pecking order. The rest of the teams we'll see, because we know the Calgary Flames, despite maybe the lack of top end talent, they can be pesky. You know, I think they play the game the right way, and that's going to get them some wins still.
Yeah. So it's interesting that way, but that's a trend so do you think now there's 84 game season, so there's going to be a few more points available for everybody. So the chances of getting over 70 is slightly higher this year than it was last year. But do you think that trend continues where we see a lot of teams muddled? And it doesn't mean they're all really good. They're just a lot of teams close to the playoffs. Or are we going to end up seeing more teams near the bottom?
I'm leaning toward the muddled, just kind of the trend we saw last year, assuming those teams mostly keep it together for the most part. And a lot of them towards the bottom, the 70, 80 point teams, I don't think they got that much worse. You know, it's just going to be night in, night out. How do things go differently? Unless there's major injuries. Like I said, I kind of think Vancouver's that tier below. And then there's the playoff teams. And then it's just going to be kind of the murky middle. Kind of similar to what we're seeing in the CFL right now.
Yeah. And quickly, this coming down, the Edmonton Oilers, man, they have a lot of goalies signed. So these are the goalies they've got signed for this coming season: Tristan Jarry, Freddie Anderson, Devin Levi. They've also got Connor Unger, who has signed, and he's on an NHL, American, so he can't even go to the ECHL. Neither can Matt Tompkins. They also have the two youngsters, Samuel Johnson and Nathaniel Day, and now they just announced that they have the Condors have signed Emil Vinny to a 1-year, 2-way American League contract, which means he's likely, guaranteed he's going to be one of the goalies in the ECHL. All right. So that's 8 goalies, man. A lot of goalies in the organization. Crazy stuff. Quick break. We'll return to the Gregor Show, presented by PlayAlberta.ca.
From the first pitch to the final out, catch Toronto Blue Jays baseball games live right here. Don't miss a moment of Blue Jays baseball this season. Sports 1440 is proud to be the home of Blue Jays baseball.
Hi, I'm Colin Livingston, president of Cantork. We've been tightening bolts and redefining for 25 years. Yes, a quarter century, and we're just getting started. Check us out at cantork.com. Our tools age better than I do.
Tee up for a great day on the course and support the Stony Plain Eagles Senior Men's Hockey Club. It's the Stony Plain Eagles Golf Tournament. Gather your foursome and join the Eagles August 25th at the Links at Spruce Grove for a 2 p.m. shotgun start. Enjoy a fantastic afternoon of golf, great company, and friendly competition, all while supporting the Stony Plain Eagles. Get all the details and register today at stonyplaineagles.com.
Legacy Heating and Cooling is your #1 air conditioning company. So when you can't take living in oppressive heat any longer,
call Legacy. Call Legacy.
If your hot, sticky sheets keep you up all night,
Call Legacy. Call Legacy.
if you've decided that you deserve to be cool and comfortable,
Call Legacy. Call Legacy.
and with no payments, no interest for 1 year, it could only be Legacy Heating and Cooling.
Ford employee pricing is on now, and you pay what we pay on virtually our entire lineup of Ford vehicles. Visit your Alberta Ford store today.
Alberta, we're wild and tough and beautiful. We agree that good enough isn't good enough. And though everything that matters starts with a home and a family. At Lux, our family has been handcrafting windows and doors for this incredible place for over half a century. There's no place we'd rather be. Everything we are is windows and doors. A company born and bred and made in Alberta.
I missed one payment, then another. Now I feel behind on everything. I can't keep up.
Falling behind happens to more people than you think, but there is a solution. My name is Parveen Middleton. I'm a licensed insolvency trustee at BDO here in Edmonton. Together, we can create a plan that fits your situation and helps you get caught up and back in control. Call 1-833-BDO-TALK or visit bdodebt.ca to book your free consultation and discover your debt-free future.
What if one moment changed everything? The turn of the key to your dream home, the roar of the crowd from your Oilers season seats, the trip you've always talked about. With the Stollery Children's Hospital Foundation Mighty Millions Lottery, winning is just the beginning for you and for them. You could win the $2.4 million grand prize show home plus $100,000 cash and more incredible prizes. And every ticket makes a life-changing difference for Stollery kids and their families. Change lives. Support Stollery Kids. Be mighty. Get your tickets now at MightyMillionsLottery.com.
The Lawnmower Hospital.
You're looking for the best zero-turn mower? Go to the source. Hustler Turf and the Lawnmower Hospital. Hustler Turf started the zero-turn market in 1964, and they're still the kings of quality, durability, and performance. With versatile sizing from 34 to 104 inches, you'll have what you need to make your summer lawn care a breeze. Financing is always available. Check lawnmowerhosp.com.
The Lawnmower Hospital.
Want sports talk on the go?
You can listen to 1440 on the AM dial or stream us on your mobile device through apps like Radio Player, iHeart, and Stingray Music.
Edmonton sports fans,
turn to Sports 1440.
1440.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Ewell, helping you finish your electrical project is their goal. From pot lights to electrical panels, the gear you need is at ewell.ca or in person at one of their Edmonton area locations. Ewell.ca, your partners in power.
This is Sports 1440, where Edmonton talks sports.
On YouTube, Facebook, and X.
Here's Jason Gregor.
Brought to you by PlayAlberta.ca.
Rolling through a lovely Wednesday afternoon. How are you? And welcome to the Jason Gregor Show. Sports 1440, sports1440.ca, YouTube, Facebook, X, Instagram. Hope you are having a lovely day. So, hey, it's not raining outside. Well, at least it wasn't. I know things can change since we've jumped on the show, but last I checked half an hour ago, it's not raining. So hopefully that continues. We just get a little reprieve for a little time. That would be nice. Gregor Show always brought to you by PlayAlberta.ca. While you're there, check out the Jason Gregor Show odds boost specials. Every day, you can get a little extra juice on it. And good luck. Stay within your limits. PlayAlberta.ca. As we're going to go around the NHL now, brought to you by McDonald's. And as the summer comes out, hey, the weather's still nice. Sometimes you just need a good deal. Sometimes you want to relax. Download the McDonald's app, and you can order an ice cream cone for only $1 exclusively through the McDonald's app. Download it today. Eat for $1. Pretty good deal. As Dan Rosen, senior writer at NHL.com, joins us. Dan, how you doing?
I'm good, Jason. How are you? How's your summer going?
Man, it's flying by. We're less than a month away from rookie camp going, and training camp for a lot of these teams will get wheeling away on the 15th of September, and then boom, we got preseason games on the 19th, and puck drop in September this year on the 29th of September. So yeah, it's right around the corner. There's been lots of player movement, but I got to get your thoughts, Dan, on the fact that it's August 12th, and my understanding is that the Detroit Red Wings have hired a group, like a company to do the search for their GM. But like this is Steve Yzerman, that announcement was almost a month ago, and really haven't heard anything. What do you make of this?
It's a little strange. I guess you can look at it and basically say, what's the rush? There's not much going on around the league right now. If you're going to take time to do a search, a good, long, hard search, and, find the person who you believe is, quote unquote, the right candidate to hire, then now is the time to do that, right? I mean, where there's no pressure to do it, there's no games being played, player movement is really stalled, it'll pick up again come early September, mid-September when we're approaching camps and whatnot, in camp. But if you're going to take time to go through the process, I guess now's the time to do it. So maybe that's what is taking so long. What is the pressure? There's no pressure point. Right? Like, isn't this league is just always built on pressure points, on deadlines, right? And, they're not real deadlines necessarily, except the trade deadline. But we make them out to be, and maybe that is what this is. Like, hey, training camp is the real deadline. So let's take our time now. That's the only thing I can think of.
Yeah, it seemed, because there's a lot of, I reached out to somebody in Detroit yesterday and told me that they don't think that Larkin, by getting a new GM, isn't going to change his mind on anything. Now, it might expand his list, because whoever the new GM comes in, if he can't get a good deal in return, he doesn't have to trade him. He's got 5 years left at a really good deal. So what do you think ultimately happens with Larkin? Do you think he just expands his list? Or, because I don't know if this relationship is salvageable. Do you?
I got to tell you, I think it would be strange if you're a new general manager coming into the organization, and if it is a new person in the organization that they do hire, they hire somebody completely outside the organization right now, if that's where they're going to go, I think it would be very strange that one of your first moves is to trade the captain of the team, right? And then, don't you want to see if you can work together with the captain of the team? You got 5 years left on this deal. Hey, I'm under no pressure to trade you, and I'm brand new to this. I don't know what's going on. I don't know what's gone on in the past. That's what you're going to hear, right? Like, if it's somebody that's completely brand new to this whole thing, I don't know what's going to gone on in the past. I can't speak for the past. I can only speak about today and what we have going forward. And Dylan Larkin's our captain going forward, and he will be our captain. I plan to work with Dylan. I mean, that's what you're going to hear, right? And rightfully so. I understand that too. But I think it's a hard thing that a general manager gets hired and his first order of business is trade the longtime captain of the team. Like, to me, that doesn't make a lot of sense unless the team camaraderie is so fractured that you have to do it, right? That is a must get done. And I don't know that that's the situation they're in right now. And listen, he issued the trade request to Steve Yzerman, who represented the Red Wings. So he issued the trade request to the Red Wings, but it doesn't mean he has to get traded, and he can rescind that request or whatever it may be, protocol there. But if I'm a new GM and I'm coming in, the last thing I want to do is trade my captain right off the bat with that, unless I've got 5 to 6 other impact players, leadership core on this team saying he's got to go. And then I have a different story.
Yeah, no, that's fair. Is there the Washington Capitals? I think a lot of us would say, hey, maybe most improved because they got Tuck and Kyrou. Like, those are two pretty significant additions to their team. Yeah. Vinny Desharnais will fill a really good penalty killer, will help them out. But those are two top end guys. If you look at the Metro, and we were talking about this earlier, because there's a trend of the last 5 years I found in the NHL. We don't have as many really bad teams anymore, right? You used to have lots of teams under 70 points. Heck, last year there was only one. And, there was only 2 teams under 76 points, right? And, it used to be 4 or 5. Some seasons there was like 8 or 9. So I look at it, seems like it's getting closer a bit. If you look at that division, like, where do you come out on the Rangers? Are they, like, after being the President's Trophy, they've fallen down from 85 to 77? Do they continue, or could they bounce back and be a playoff team?
See, I think they can bounce back. Can they be a playoff team? That, to me, is, I don't know. Like, they could be. They have to be a playoff team in the top 3 in the Metropolitan Division. That's where, to me, the Atlantic is so stacked right now that you if you're going to make the playoffs as a Metro team, you're not making it as a wild card. That's how I look at it right now. Things could change. We know that. But that, and one spot to me is automatic. It goes to Carolina. Like, that's the team. They're going to be good. They're going to be good. And I agree with you on Washington. Like, I love the improvement there. And I think that they have a lot going for them in a short-term window here. So I would say, yeah, they're Washington too. So the Rangers are in competition now. You have Pittsburgh, Philly, the Devils, the Islanders. Columbus, I would say, is a step back. The Islanders should be pretty good. I mean, I'm curious what they're under DeBoer, but I think the Rangers are a team that can take that step to being better. Number one, they have to be better on home ice. Okay, so that they lost everything last year because they couldn't win. They couldn't score on home ice. So that has to be better. But they did lose Trocheck, but Dorofeyev's a goal scorer. To me, he's the replacement for Panarin. He's more of they're different players, but he's the replacement for Panarin. They've got, I like what they did with their defense, adding Sean Durzi and Marcus Pettersson. Now you've got a formidable second pair to play behind Adam Fox and Vlad Gavrikov, which is a formidable top pair. And they did not have a formidable second pair. There was a huge drop-off in the Rangers' defense last year after Fox and Gavrikov. Now there won't be that big of a drop-off. You're going to have Mika Zibanejad and JT Miller as your top two centers. People will look at that and go, neither one of those guys is a real number one center. But if both of them are playing in your top six and they're playing at the top of their game, that's pretty good. I mean, you're going to see teams that have worse than that, okay? So I don't mind that. I think Dorofeyev could be a really nice pick. He scored 40 for them. I mean, that would be the goal. He scored 37 last year, right, with Vegas. They filled out some other areas in their bottom six. I think Dave Perreault is a real wild card for them. Came on last year, had a strong last quarter of the season. Can he build on that? And they also, we know, have the goaltending. So that's not a concern at all for them. They have elite goaltending. So you put it all together. I mean, I think it's a tall task to ask the Rangers to go from last in the Eastern Conference last season to being a top three team in their division. But if things work out and like they put pieces together that would lead you to believe that they could do it, will they? It's a big question because there's other competition in there. I don't know where Philly goes. I don't know where Pittsburgh goes. To be honest, I don't really know where the Islanders or the Devils go either. And I don't know where the Rangers go. But it's got to be one of those teams, and the Rangers are right in that mix, I would say.
Yeah, well, the Devils are the team after their 112 points. They've been, 91, 87, 85, not very good. And it might be as simple to say because Jack Hughes basically signed him up to miss 20 games. Unfortunately, that's been his MO so far. And when he's out, they just haven't been able to compete. So, now they have a new GM, and Sonny Mena comes in. What are you expecting here from him, and maybe a different approach in even how they play potentially from the GM? Even though I know he doesn't coach, but he's going to have influence.
He doesn't. Yeah, he doesn't coach, and he didn't change the coach. So there, I think he's holding. I mean, I understand why. Like, you're a new GM coming in. The coach is, one of those, things that you got only a couple of bullets in your gun, right? And the coach is one of them, and you don't want to fire that off right away when you don't know what's capable of right now. So. I'm curious to see where that goes. Can the Devils get off to a good start where it kind of saves Sheldon Keefe here and, they start rolling a little bit? Jack Hughes stays healthy. They're playing. They're scoring. The goaltending to me is a question mark. I mean, is Jake Allen a number one goalie at 36 years old? And he really hasn't been. Then you got Nico Dawes and David Rittich. Like, where's the goaltending going from there? We'll see, so there's questions there. I mean, where's Dougie Hamilton right now? Is he going to even be a part of this? Brett Pesce's health, always an issue for me. I think he's really good when he's healthy, but can he stay healthy? And then obviously you mentioned Jack Hughes' health too. He's got to stay healthy because he's just he's the key dog in the whole thing. They're an interesting team, no doubt, because they have really, really good pieces. But they bring back the same coach with the new GM. Is there going to be a change? Do they get along? Is there going to be a difference in philosophies? I'm very curious to see where this goes for the Devils.
Yeah, they're a team for me. The same with the Islanders. Now, they hired their new coach at the end of last season for the 4 games to go. And, I look at them, and obviously they got the young defenseman. They got an elite goaltender. Schaefer was, I think, a great story for the Islanders last year. But, they lost some guys up front. And I just like the Islanders. They got to play more up tempo, don't they?
Yeah, that's got to be the key for them, and that's what DeBoer is going to input. That's the style he wants to play. I mean, he wants the team to go, like, get moving up the ice, play up tempo. They don't have a lot of foot speed, though, right? I mean, like that's the thing, especially in their forward group. They don't have a ton of speed. Horvat, Shen, Palat, Pajot, Palmieri. I mean. You guys are getting up there in their mid-30s, early to mid-30s. There isn't a lot of foot speed there. So they have to play up-tempo. Are they going to be able to play up-tempo? And even on the back end, Schaefer can move. We know that, right? There's no question about there. But, I mean, Pulak's not a burner. Romanov's not a burner. Pellick's not a burner at all. Mayfield. So they may want to play up tempo. I don't know if they have the horses to play up tempo right now.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I know that. Hey, fair point on that. From afar now, what do you make of the Oilers? What are you expecting for their season?
Well, I mean, I expect the Oilers to. I have no idea, to be honest with you. Like that's there is such a conundrum for me. There is pressure on this team, obvious pressure. We don't have to go into it. Everybody who's listening knows what kind of pressure is on this team. Curious about Freddie Anderson. Like I think Freddie Anderson, he's another one. Can he stay healthy? And it's a different system. He's used to a certain system in Carolina. He doesn't face a lot of shots. It keeps him, he can stay tight. He knows how to handle that. What's it going to be like for him? This is going to be a lot different for him. No question about it. But there's a lot of pressure here to perform this season, to go win this season. And it's a hard thing to go into a season like that and doing it. And you're bringing in a new coach who's got everybody watching him. You've got a captain who everybody's going to be watching and see where it's going to go. If the team goes on a 5-game losing streak, what's the story going to be? Right?
Yeah.
That's a lot to deal with. So I don't know if I think they have the maturity now as a team to be able to deal with it. Certainly the number of the players they have been through a lot of different things. So they should have the maturity of the team to be able to deal with everything that's going to come their way, all that pressure. But is it going to eat them up eventually this season? I don't know. So that's why, and I started out my answer by saying I really don't know, because there's so much they're playing into the wind, if you will, and there's so much that they have to deal with. If they can deal with it, they can be a really good team.
Dan, great stuff, man. We appreciate it. Enjoy the last few weeks of summer.
All right, man. Thanks for racking my brain a little bit. Got me going a little bit.
There you go. I love it. There's Dan Rosen, senior writer at NHL.com. Jason Gregor, Connor Halley, Declan Cougar with you. Got a lot of texts we asked on who would be your 5-on-5 top 6 minute eaters amongst forwards. Obviously, McDavid, Draisaitl, you don't have to waste time typing their names. Everybody has them. Who do you have? Some different opinions. And why? I always like to see the why. So we'll get to that when we return on the Gregor Show, presented by PlayAlberta.ca. We'll also have some thoughts on the Elks.
For Selly hockey fans, your partner in power just skated onto the ice. EWEL.ca, the new e-commerce website for electrical wholesalers Edmonton, is ready for the power play 24/7, 365. UL skates to where the puck will be in 5 years. Now that's forward thinking. Killer selection, slamming products from the best brands, and legendary service. Don't sit on the bench. Get your account today at EWEL.ca and win that project. Plug into your partner in power. Get an EWEL.ca account today.
They're going all out to earn your business at Wolf GMC Buick. Right now, they're seriously overstocked on over 400 pieces of inventory on clearance and ready to move. See for yourself. Click on the clearance tab at wolfgmcbuick.com. And it gets even better. Employee pricing continues with huge cash discounts, 0% purchase financing, and low lease rates on select vehicles. Once again, see their website for details or stop in today. Wolf GMC Buick. We're making it easy.
Everything is going to be okay. If your debt has you feeling like you're in a free fall, you have options. I'm Dan McDicken, a licensed insolvency trustee with Faber. Becoming debt-free is possible, and a personal bankruptcy or consumer proposal will get you there. Schedule your free Faber Focus session at faber.ca today. You'll learn how a consumer proposal allows you to eliminate your debt by paying a percentage of the amount owed without interest. At Faber, we'll tackle your debt.
Your weekend hotspot is at On the Rocks.
Party with Edmonton's best bands every Friday, Saturday, and Sunday.
And we got them all.
From the Varkels to Tallboy, Radioactive, Curves, the Fruit Squad, Morningwood, Roxilla, Punch Buggy, and more.
Plus, the guy who keeps the party going every weekend. DJ Kenny K on the ones and twos, live.
Get ready to have a good time this weekend.
Your bar, your party. You're On the Rocks.
On the Rocks.
Just Jasper Ave and 118th.
It's cone season at McDonald's, which means vanilla cones are $1 each plus tax in the McDonald's app all summer long. Soft, creamy, and crunchy. for just $1 each plus tax exclusively in the McDonald's app. App download and registration required at participating McDonald's in Canada.
At GS Construction, we won't quit until we find a way to get the job done. And the right person makes all the difference. We're looking for our next superintendent, an experienced leader ready to take on the role. Because while GS Construction is building the water, sewage, and drainage systems Edmonton communities rely on, the superintendent is building up the team. If you know how to keep a job site safe, productive, and moving, we want to hear from you. Visit gsconstruction.ca/careers today. You've got a go-to coffee spot, a trusted barber, even a lucky game day jersey. But when it's about looking your absolute best, there's only one name you need. Mr. Dirk. Family run since 1939. We're experts in crafting impeccable tailor-made suits and offering a wide variety of everyday styles. Pair that with personalized one-on-one fittings and the convenience of on-site tailoring. Mr. Dirk, elevate your style game. Visit our Edmonton store or explore MrDirk.com. Score big on style with Mr. Dirk.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Sherbrooke Liquor, the best place for wine, cocktails, and beers from all over the world. Also a variety of excellent non-alcoholic options. See more at SherbrookeLiquor.com.
The Jason Gregor Show, the best of Edmonton sports talk and beyond. This is Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
.244. Jason Gregor. Connor Halley, Declan Kruger with you as we roll through the afternoon. We got a lot of texts. We're going to get to some of those, but first we're going to get to our football report brought to you by Legacy Heating and Cooling. Over the no payments, no interest for 1 year on your AC unit. Stay cool all summer long at legacyheating.ca. As John Hodge from 3 Down Nation joins us once again. John, how you doing, man? Welcome back to the show.
Thanks, Jason. I'm doing great. How are you?
I am. I'm good. The Montreal Alouettes. I don't think there's any debate. They're the best team in the CFL right now. They look like very formidable. Now, lots can change. You know, the other teams, Saskatchewan and Edmonton. I still don't count out BC if when Nathan Rourke gets healthy, or teams that maybe can give him a run. But man, right now Montreal looks pretty darn good.
Yeah, I ran the numbers, Jason, and I mean we're heading into week 11. It starts tomorrow. The Alouettes could mathematically win the East by week 14. Like by the time that week is done, like they could be a month away from punching their ticket to first place, which is pretty wild. And I mean, look, we have not yet seen the Alouettes and Rough Riders face off. That'll be a great opportunity when that happens. But I think what we learned this past week is, or really over the last 3 weeks, is the Elks are right there with Saskatchewan. Those two teams obviously split their home and home, 2 points either way, 2-point win for Edmonton in game 1, 2-point win for Saskatchewan in game 2. But yeah, the Elks can't roll with the Alouettes right now, and nobody else in the league can. Like they are just super far ahead of everybody else. And that doesn't mean they're going to win the Grey Cup. We saw the Toronto Argonauts blow the doors off everybody in 2023, going 16-2. And then they, faltered in the playoffs. So credit the Alouettes. They've been the best team through the first half of the season, but it is only the first half of the season.
Yes. Yeah. Injuries and, teams figuring things out, and lots can change between now and then. The BC Lions, there was a lot of rust. Like I know it was not the prettiest game at all against Hamilton. However, I think with Nathan Rourke back, I almost would vaunt them ahead of both Winnipeg and Calgary.
Yeah, I would say, at least for me right now, Montreal's in a tier to their own.
Yes.
The second tier would be just Saskatchewan and Edmonton. And then tier 3 in the CFL is everybody else but Ottawa. Like the Bombers have looked good at times. They've also looked awful at times, including an inexcusable loss a couple weeks ago to a third-string quarterback at home. And then there's also been, the BC Lions were horrible out of the gate. That defense was miserable, but that defense has been quietly, I think, very good at times over the last month, 6 weeks, as the secondary settled way down. They're number one against the run. And then Calgary's, I think, still on pace to set an all-time single-season scoring record. The downside is their defense is allowing almost just as many points as their offense is scoring. So all the rest of these teams in the East, in the West Division, I think, are competing for third. I don't think any of them are going to catch Edmonton or Sask for 1-2 or 2-1, however you want to order those teams. But there's things to like about each of them. Each of them has flaws. And that's what's going to make some of these upcoming matchups so important. I mean, BC and Calgary playing on Thursday night, very critical game for both clubs. And the Bombers and Lions meet again the very last week of the season. That could be the type of game that decides a potential playoff spot. And Calgary and Winnipeg have the rubber match of their 3-game season series yet to go. So not too much settled there, but definitely an intriguing storyline. Who's going to finish first, I think, between Sask and Edmonton, and then who's going to round out the West Division and in what order?
You look at the season right now, and from an entertainment standpoint and from a yardage standpoint, it's been one of the most entertaining seasons in a long time, the first half. I really believe that the 35-second play clock has added and made the game much better than a lot of people thought. And all of those who felt like, oh, this is going to make the game even slower, really missed the boat on this. The 35-second clock has actually cleaned up stuff. We don't have as many late substitutions, and it's allowing quarterbacks to get to the line of scrimmage with more time to scan the defense. It's been great.
Yeah, I love the 35-second play clock. I think all the changes, frankly, that have been done for this season have been very positive. I anticipated before the seasons that they would be positive. I know there were naysayers on the other side. That's okay. People are entitled to their opinions. I don't like any of the changes the CFL is bringing in for 2027, but we'll worry about that when the time comes. For now, I think, some of the more minor changes, benches on opposite sides of the field, that was a no-brainer, right? We haven't seen the type of skirmishes that we've seen in the past at times, especially out east, where a lot of the benches were on the same side of the field. It looks cleaner. The game is cleaner. And yeah, the play clock, I think, has been one of the reasons to help offenses. I think you nailed it, especially with no more late substitutions. You're able to catch defenses in second down looks that are maybe more friendly for teams looking to throw the ball deep, because we have seen quarterbacks pushing the ball deeper than ever before. We look at 2023. I just mentioned the Argonauts. Chad Kelly won MOP that season with 23 touchdowns and 12 picks. Well, he's almost at that touchdown total himself, and he's only third league-wide in passing touchdowns. Davis Alexander is on pace. He's not quite on pace to break the all-time single-season passing record, which was set by Doug Flutie back in 1991, but he's close. And then, Trevor Harris is playing brilliant football. Vernon Adams Jr., bad game last week, but other than that, has been absolutely lights out for the Calgary Stampeders. And Cody Fajardo's played really well, but I don't know if you could argue he's a top 4 quarterback yet this year, just because there have been so many other players blowing the doors off. So yes, the changes are great. And we have seen, especially with Bo Levi Mitchell, the injury there, Nathan Rourke missing some time. We've had a few worse quarterback performances as of late, but with Nathan Rourke back and healthy, Harrison Frost, I think impressing in his debut as a starter last week, I think we're hopefully on the upswing for quarterback play. And Zach Collaros, of course, coming back. It looks like anyways, he'll be back on Friday.
And what do you think he adds to their offense specifically?
Well, I was impressed with the way Drew Brown came in. The issue is Drew Brown, I think, regressed in each of his subsequent starts. I went back and looked at the numbers, Jason. This past game against BC, whether it was Drew Brown or Taylor Elgersma who took over late in that contest, neither of them attempted a pass that traveled more than 20 yards downfield in the air, which is wild. It is not an air it out type of offense, but I don't know how any offense could hope to be successful without stretching the defense vertically to at least some degree, especially with how good Brady Oliveira has been this year. He's quietly averaging the same yards per carry as he did back in his MOP season back in 2024. I believe he's at 5.9 yards per carry, which is very good. You have to stretch the defense vertically, and they've not done that at all. I think that's something that Zach adds. I also think Zach holds onto the ball longer than, I mean, most quarterbacks in the CFL, but certainly Drew Brown. And so when that does have a downside, of course, you're asking more of your offensive line. You're potentially taking some hits, which is part of the reason Zach has missed time pretty consistently over the last few years. But on the flip side, you're giving more time for your players to get open downfield. And whether it's Nick Dembski, whether it's Ontario Wilson, they do have some deep threats. They just need to use them appropriately. And so I think the Bombers are hoping to get some big plays back in their passing game.
Looking ahead to Edmonton and Toronto, Saturday, 1:00. Chad Kell and the Argos, they love to pass the ball. Nobody relies on the pass more than the Argos. And they've scored touchdowns, but he also throws a ton of interceptions. What do you make of this matchup?
Well, I mean, we'll start with the Argos. Chad, I thought, had some really good quotes after the win over Calgary, where yes, he did throw 4 interceptions, and he said, well, look, like, I want to clean those up, but he's like, I'm also not going to become a check down Charlie. Those were his words. Yeah. And I love it. I love the gunslinger mentality. He has a lot of arm talent, arguably the most arm talent in the Canadian Football League. And it's super entertaining to watch him just relentlessly push the ball down the field. DeMonte Coxey's fantastic. Makai Polk is fantastic. Tyler Common's been a breakout for them this year. Cooled off a bit as of late, but Kevin Mattal's been brilliant for them as well. Certainly was for the first third of the season. So he's got the weapons, and I love the gunslinger mentality. But if this team is going to challenge at all in the playoffs, yeah, you need to do a better job of pulling those interceptions down. Chad Kelly's thrown 13 this year, and that's already a new career single season high for him. His previous high was 12, and that was over his full MOP season. He's only played 8 games this year, and he's at 13. That's probably not sustainable. And that could be an opportunity for Edmonton. I mean, this Edmonton team didn't get its first interception this year until week 5, and they've since exploded. They've had a couple of 4 interception games. Tyrell Ford has 5 on the season. He's tied for the league lead. And if you're the Elks, I think there is not a lot of pressure on you. I mean, this team has obviously performed, I think, above expectations through the first half of the season. But I think this was a team that was hoping at 6-1 to take that next step and show that they're the top dogs in the CFL. And with back-to-back losses to Saskatchewan and then Montreal, they obviously haven't done that. So I think getting back at home, hoping to build those crowds at Commonwealth Stadium, I like the Elks' chances of winning here. They're just going to need a couple of takeaways, I think, off Chad Kelly to make that happen.
Well, Tyrell Ford, step up. He's been pretty good in that department. I think the Elks, they got to get back to getting ranking the ball. Like, I'm sorry, 7 touches is at borders on a fireable offense to me. And I know I'm being a little bit hyperbolic here, but I'm sorry. Like, there's zero reason when he's averaging 8.9 yards a carry to only have 7 touches the entire game when he is their number one playmaker. I know he had a few short weeks. I don't care. He's their best player. Get him the damn ball.
I think that's well said. And I mean, yes, this team did have some tight turnarounds on their games, but they're now going from a Saturday to a Saturday. You've got a full week of prep, and the Argonauts have struggled against the run at times this season. And I also think, I mean, I know David Beard was on the injury report this week, but like, this team did go through a few games where they didn't have Carter O'Donnell. They didn't have David Beard along the interior of that offensive line. And those guys were all back this past week. And when you're playing against the Montreal Alouettes, a team that, I mean, every game is a track meet, Davis Alexander to Tyson Philpott. I mean, honestly, we're at the point where, I mean, they have to sustain it a little bit longer, but this is becoming one of the best connections in CFL history. Like, I think it wouldn't surprise me if a year from now you're going, okay, like, this is Alan Pitts with Doug Flutie. This is Kahari Jones to Milt Stegall, like some of the greatest connections of all time. Anthony Calvillo to Ben Cahoon. I don't think that's hyperbolic. I mean, Tyson Philpott's on pace for 2,300 yards.
Yeah, for sure.
Absolutely. Davis Alexander's on pace for over 6,000 yards passing. Like, it's been unbelievable. So the best antidote to that is, what if we just didn't let them get on the field and we ran the ball down Montreal's throats? And the Elks did not do that this past week. And part of that was that they were behind in the second half. But regardless, I think the best way to keep Chad Kelly off the field this week and to prevent him pushing the ball down the field and hurting you that way is, let's get Justin Rankin 25 touches, because we saw what he could do. I was in the locker room in Winnipeg after Rankin let up the Blue Bombers earlier this season, Jason, and Retta Cramdy, veteran excellent player for the Bombers, said to me that Justin Rankin, other than the quarterbacks in this league, is the best player in the CFL. That's what he said, hands down. He's like, he's an unbelievable player. And so the fact that Edmonton has gone away from him as of late doesn't make sense to me. So I agree. They got to get back to him.
Yeah. Now, speaking of Philpott, you know what's crazy is, Philpott's on pace for 2,308 yards. His running mate's on pace for 1,880 yards. Like, you used to have like one, it would be like one guy and the quarterback. And then your number two would be down quite a bit. The fact that their number two is also number two in the CFL is crazy. Like, Montreal's passing game right now is lights out dangerous.
Well, I love the way that receiving core is constructed. And that's no disrespect to Kasim Ferdinand and Cole Speaker and Alexander Hollins and Jareth Stearns and like a bunch of kind of underneath role players they have there who have made lots of plays themselves. But there are some receiving cores in the CFL where you look at it and there's a lot of good players, but there's no dominant players in the receiving group. And I love the way Montreal has kind of gone, okay, you know what? We're going to pay big dollars to two dominant receivers. And we trust that just them drawing attention, we don't have to pay money to anybody else. We can go cheap at all the other spots because we trust that there's going to be spots for them to be open. We can scheme them open. We know that Davis Alexander's going to hit them. And so instead of having a receiving core where you've got, four guys making, let's say, between $150,000 and $200,000, I love the way the Alouettes have gone, you know what? We're going to spend $285,000 on Tyson Philpott, and Tyler Snead, I think, is actually under 200. He should be getting more on his next deal with the breakout year he's had this year. He's been unbelievable, but we can go cheap everywhere else. And that has really, really worked for them. And Snead and Philpott, unbelievable 1-2 punch for that team. And Davis Alexander, man, the offensive line's doing a great job of protecting Davis Alexander, but he is so fearless with the way he pushes the ball down the field, yet only 2 interceptions. Unbelievable.
John, great stuff, buddy. I appreciate it, man. Enjoy the week of CFL.
Thanks for having me, Jason. Anytime.
You betcha. That's John Hodge from 3 Down Nation. 2:59. It's time to get to Connor Halley and a sports 1440 update brought to you by Go Auto. Summer's coming to an end. You're thinking, you know what? Maybe I need a vehicle, a different one for the winter. Well, they got 17,000 to choose from. Go to goauto.ca and find your ride today.
This is a sports 1440 update.
Toronto Blue Jays back in action, taking on the Red Sox once again. First pitch 5:07. We'll join that one in progress following the Gregor Show at 6 o'clock on our AM feed. Blue Jays also claiming pitcher Paul Sewald off waivers today. Sewald, 36, was designated for assignment by the Diamondbacks earlier this week. Elsewhere, Yankees host the Mariners, the Mets get the Braves, Rangers, and Angels, while the Dodgers will host the Royals. Earlier today, Twins get past the Orioles 7-5, and it was the Phillies falling to the Cards 7-1. Right now, Rockies up on the Diamondbacks 6-1 in the 5th. In the 6th, Athletics trail the Rays 7-2. Brewers on top of the Padres 2-1 heading into the 4th. And in the 5th, the Giants have a 1-0 lead over the Astros. 9-time All-Star Russell Westbrook announced his
Just after 3 o'clock, Jason Gregor, Connor Halley, Declan Kruger with you, Sports 1440, sports1440.ca. This just coming down, the Toronto Blue Jays have claimed Paul Sewald, who was basically DFA'd, designated for assignment by the D-backs, and they needed a pitching. They needed arms bad. Like, their bullpen is absolutely gassed. So older veteran, 36 years of age. He was drafted way back in 2012. Played for the Mariners, the D-backs, the Guardians, the Tigers, the D-backs again. So I think he's here just to kind of fill a spot for a short period of time. And with relief pitchers, you never know. Honestly, you never know. They get to some place and all of a sudden they're feeling it and they have a few good innings, and the next thing you know, they run with it. It's wild. Like, I don't know if there's a position in sports that is more volatile and changes as much as relief pitchers, like middle relievers. Right? One year the guy looks like an absolute stud, and then the next year you're just like, what is happening? Kind of like Vladdy Guerrero this season. But that's a little bit of a one-off. It's a 1 year, like, just horrific season for him. But I will say this, and I'm going to put it up. Connor Halley. And we don't do it all the time, but the not so obvious game day prediction today on August 12th, Vlad Guerrero, his first home run of the season will occur this evening. It's a little, gut hunch, and we'll see. We might get that up as a Jason Gregor Show special. Get a few extra odds boosts on it for fun. So, at some point, he's got to hit a home run at home. So, I'll say it tonight, Connor Halley. I don't know why. It's just one of those weird feelings. That's why it's not so obvious.
Yeah, I mean, if you get this right, we're going to ask where the time machine is and the lotto tickets and all that sort of thing. Yeah, the last one outside of Game 6 of the ALCS, when was it? It's been a calendar year, hasn't it? Like, we haven't seen one of these in a long time. So fingers crossed. I hope you're right.
ALCS is in October, dude. So,
but I mean,
it's coming
regular
close.
season, I said.
Oh, regular season.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, he must have hit a home run in September in Toronto.
I thought there was some I'll find it, but
are you telling me that's his last home run at home as a calendar year?
Well, I thought I had read that, but I'll dig in and take a look.
Like that. Well, I know it's been a year of just craziness for Vladdy. No question about it, but I got to think that he hit a home run last year.
Pretty sure it was the 17th of August.
That was his last home run
against Texas. Because after that, he didn't hit one until October 4th and 5th against the Yankees, and then 19th against the Mariners.
Oh, that's unbelievable. Like, truly remarkable when you think about it. So, that's when you've been struggling just a tad, right?
Yeah. If you get that one up at Play Alberta, I think you're gonna have a few people hopping on board.
Well,
why not?
The not so obvious, you know what? Got a fair amount of consistency with that at times. So it's always good when you hit one that you don't expect. And right now, would anybody expect Vladdy to hit a home run at home?
No.
Heck, just picking a Vladdy Guerrero home run would be like he's hit 7 of them all season, which is still like, it's hard for me to wrap my head around that stat. That it's Vladdy Guerrero, 7 home runs. You're just like, what? It does not make a whole bunch of sense. Right? Like, he's played 112 games, dude. So that's like what, 6.4% of the games he's hitting a home run in. That's it. I'm not good.
And Suarez on the mound, right? For the Red Sox?
Yeah.
Wonder how many he's given up this year.
Oh, yeah. Check it out. Well, I'm not saying it's going to necessarily be against him. Try to get to the relief pitcher. We'll see. But either way, at some point, it's got to happen. So
5.
He's only given up 5.
Yeah.
That's what makes it even more not so obvious. I didn't even look at who the opposing pitcher was. It was just walking down the hall. I was like, you know what? I feel it. One of those weird things. Doesn't mean it's going to guaranteed happen, but we'll see. We'll have a little fun with that. Coming up this hour, we're gonna hear more in the Elks, but I wanted to get to because we had the question last hour, and we'll continue with it, asking people who would they have? Who do you think is going to be Mike Babcock's most used 6 forwards? I'm not going to get into line combinations because it doesn't always have to be line combinations. Guys are going to move in and around for different reasons, so I understand that. But I'm just talking 5-on-5, the 6 forwards who will play the most minutes. Average per game. Because if you know what, so keep in mind, last year, Jack Roslovic no longer here. He was at 1406. Matt Savoy, in case you're interested, he played 1205 last year at 5-on-5. McDavid and Draisaitl, we just said eliminate those two because we all know they're going to be involved. So who is your 3 to 6, and why? Because the why to me is always important. So we'll get to it. 833-401-1440, 833-401-1440. Northside Lou has Hyman, Podkolzin, Savoy, and Howard. Nugent Hopkins needs to slide down to the third line, and Howard has to be given every opportunity in the top 6. He's not going to succeed in the bottom 6. May as well trade him from Northside Lou. Now, Nugent Hopkins, it's interesting. He's going to, in his 7th game of the season, he's going to set the franchise mark for most games played as an Edmonton Oiler. He's already set the mark for most consecutive, like in one stint played, right? Because Kevin Lowe left and then came back. But, it's not consecutive because that means he played every one in a row, but continuously. So he already has that one, but now he'll be at 1,000 and 38 to pass Kevin Lowe. So he's going to do it. And Nugent Hopkins, to me, I could see him being still on your first unit power play, but more of a third line man, and probably your 7th, maybe your 8th forward, him or Dickinson, as far as even strength time, because I think they'll probably still use him a little bit on the PK. But some would argue that, you know what, you got to lower his minutes a bit. I think less is more with Nugent Hopkins. He's not the biggest man. And so if there's a little bit less wear and tear, that could benefit him. That's why it's stunning to me when people have Hyman on the third line over Nugent Hopkins. I'm like, what? Like, sorry. Hyman contributes way more 5-on-5. Right? He just does. Nugent Hopkins has never been a highly prolific scoring player at 5-on-5. That's fine. He's never been that. I'm not going to expect him to suddenly become that. So to me, he suits more as a third line role later in his career than Zach Hyman does. Eventually, like Zach Hyman, to me, I could see him playing long into his career and being a guy like Corey Perry. Maybe not moving around every year to a different team, but a player who was a good scorer who can play a fourth line role because of the style of game that he plays around the net, dogged determination, really good on the boards. I could see that. And Hyman, his best skating days were always better than any of Corey Perry's best skating days. So that'll help him as well. But I could easily see eventually Hyman being a guy, later in his career, good role player. But for now, he's a top 6 forward to me. No question. No question in my mind. He's the guy that I would have there for sure. So hey guys, nothing special. I still think the coach is going to go with vets. Savoy is going to be in for Roslovic. The rest stay the same. So he's got Podkolzin, Nugent Hopkins, Hyman, McDavid, and Draisaitl. From Andrew, and I can understand that. I think there'll be some change. I don't think now it's not that you do it. Well, the other coach did it, so I have to do it differently. Like, of course, you're going to play McDavid and Draisaitl the most minutes. Like, duh. No one's going to say, well, the previous coach did that, so I'm going to do it different. Like, yeah, that's how you get fired. But other players, I could see it. So Howard's one who we have in. This one comes in from Dan, who has Hyman, Podkolzin, Savoy, and Kapanen. Guys, I really think Kapanen's going to shine. Babcock knew him before. I think he'll play a lot. he was our best forward in the playoffs once he got healthy. He was. That's true. And coach knows him. That's a very good point. It's just human nature. It's human nature. That to me could be a possibility. Hey, Gregor, you're saying just at 5-on-5 minutes, I have Dickinson in place of Roslovic. I really think the coach is going to put him in tough matchups, something he can handle. And I remember the interview he had on your show where he mentioned I can score if I'm on a line where they want me to be the shooter. I do remember the interview very specifically, and it did happen. You're right. He did score 22 goals one year in Chicago. But are you telling me that's the only year of his career that he was on a line where he was the only shooter? I don't know if I believe that. Like, if you've only ever scored double digits once, I'm going to be hesitant to think. Now, minutes played's different. You could be onto something as far as Dickinson getting some, a lot of responsibility. Part of it will depend on the amount of special teams they have. He's obviously not going to be on the power play. And Edmonton, historically, the last 5-6 years does not take a ton of penalties. I don't think that's going to, I don't think Mike Babcock is suddenly going to have this team being overtly aggressive. And now they're going to get a lot of penalties for being too physical. It's just not, it's not in their DNA. It's not who they are. So I don't know if there'll be that much a difference as far as power play and penalty kill time goes. So we'll kind of see what happens. But the Kapanen one that's one I could see if he stays healthy. Because I think Kapanen had, when he was healthy last year and then in the playoffs, he was really good. I think we kind of sleep on him. He would be my surprise contributor for the Oilers this season that no one's really talking about, who could end up playing. And I don't mind that. I thought of a Kapanen ending up averaging the sixth most 5-on-5 minutes of the team. Greg's, well, I love the enthusiasm of your texter. I just don't see any way that Howard's going to be top 6 as a rookie, even though he's not officially a rookie, as you said, with Babcock. I probably tend to agree with you. Do I think he's going to play the 6th most minutes 5-on-5? I do not. But I think there's a chance, depending on how he comes to camp and how he looks and everything like that, that if his development over the summer matches his skill set and what he did in the first year as a pro, I think there's a very good chance we could see Howard in a consistent top 9 role, right? I'm not going to get too hung up on lines because very few teams roll lines. That you might get one maybe, but then after that, there's lots of different combinations. Lots of teams like duos now more than trios. We don't see a ton of trios, so I could see some duos. And Howard, he's going to have to show it. He's not going to be gifted an opportunity, nor should he. And honestly, he probably doesn't. Well, maybe he wants it, but you know what I mean? Players don't want to just be gifted something. Because at the end of the day, the players in the room know who's playing well, who's contributing. It's not all about points. There's lots of little details in the game. And Howard's first pro season gives me reason to believe there's lots of good upside there. I know that the guy got traded for, O'Reilly, had a great year in junior. It's junior hockey. Junior hockey to the AHL is a big jump. Big jump. Hey, guys, I have a feeling Babcock will love Janmark and the fans will hate it, from Lance. Well, some might. Now let's define love. Lots of coaches like Janmark. You want to know why? Because he is extremely reliable. Now, he couldn't score in the Ocean the last few years, and maybe that had to do with his shoulder injury. Maybe it's a reduction in skill. We'll find out this year. But the one thing you get with Janmark when he's on the ice is very rarely is he out of position or makes a glaring bad play. So he's consistent. Coaches know that. And it doesn't really matter what level you've coached at. When you can coach a team and you look and you're like, okay, you know what? I know what to expect from number 14. And on most nights, most games, you'll get that. That's a real relief. And I never really appreciated it until I started coaching myself, where you just kind of Of course you want the your best players, and you need your best players on any team. You got a guy who's a goal scorer and you're in a tight game. Kind of hope your goal scorer scores. Great. But having players that gave you a very consistent effort, whatever it was, if their best game was only a B+, but they brought a B+ the majority of the time, it was great. You're like, man, I know if I put him on the ice, I'm just going to get a high % work ethic in the right position, rarely just gives the puck away. Good enough. Scoring's a bonus. And I'm telling you, when you coach, and you can even coach at younger levels, and I never coach to win. I coach to develop. I've never been one who's sitting kids out. I don't really believe in it at young ages. I think it's preposterous, to be honest. I've seen coaches do it, and I always ask myself, I said, is winning at U9 and U11 and even at U15, is it worth it by ruining the kid because they're sitting on a bench for 20 minutes? Like, if it's one shift at the end of the game, sure. But I wouldn't even do it early in the year. Like, how do you even know which one of your players can show up at that time? Like, whatever. At the end of the day, it doesn't matter. Maybe you get to the playoffs the odd time. But for extended periods when coaches are shortening the bench, I'm telling you, the players will always remember you, and it won't be in a good light. And even if you win, no one's going to remember what you won. Oh, well, you know what? Remember that tournament we won in U13 in Brooks? Really? You might remember it. I can tell you most people don't. The kids will remember if there was a good water slide. Probably more than they'll remember if they won the tournament. So they get to sports, player kids. Ran into someone whose son was playing baseball this year. Pretty high level. U13 baseball. And the coach had his first year players. Like, what's the point of having first years on the team and then not play? Like, I couldn't believe how little they played. Like, stunned when you hear that over a course of the year, the kid played like 18 innings. And you're like, what? Like, what are you doing? And how associations allow that in sport is just beyond me. And how any adult coach could look themselves in the mirror and feel good about themselves, I don't understand it. Oh, look at me. Yeah, you know what? I kept playing the same guys. Little Johnny, well, he's learning. He's got practice. Give me a break. Anyway, let's take a quick break. We'll return. And your Chuck joins us on the Gregor Show, presented by PlayAlberta.ca.
Your weekend hotspot is at On the Rocks.
Party with Edmonton's best bands every Friday, Saturday, and Sunday.
And we got them all.
From the Varkels to Tallboy, Radioactive, Curves, the Fruit Squad, Morningwood, Roxilla, Punch Buggy, and more.
Plus, the guy who keeps the party going every weekend. DJ Kenny K on the ones and twos, live.
Get ready to have a good time this weekend.
Your bar, your party. You're On the Rocks.
On the Rocks.
Just Jasper Ave and 118th.
Albertans love to debate the best way to enjoy summer sports.
No. Playing on the field is the best, man.
No way. Watching from the sidelines, way more relaxing.
You're both crazy. Checking out the game from the Bro Zone is where it's at.
But there's one thing every sports fan agrees on.
Wilhauk Beef Jerky.
Wherever you catch the action, load up on Alberta's best beef jerky.
Wilhauk Beef Jerky. Because you can't have summer fun with salad. Only available in Leduc.
It's cone season at McDonald's, which means vanilla cones are $1 each plus tax in the McDonald's app all summer long. Soft, creamy, and crunchy. For just $1 each plus tax exclusively in the McDonald's app. App download and registration required at participating McDonald's in Canada.
Guys, there never seems to be enough time in the day, but you need to make time for this. Ken Franchek here. If you're 40 or over, a quick PSA blood test is crucial for early prostate cancer detection. The Prostate Cancer Center's Man Van is a mobile health clinic driving change for men's health. A few minutes could save your life. To get the Man Van out to your business or event, book today at getcheck.ca.
Do you know why people love working at GS Construction? It's honest work. It's work that needs to be done. And we're really good at what we do. That's why GS Construction has been in business for over 50 years. We won't be wearing a top hat and tails, more like hard hat and boots, because we're heading underground to keep the water flowing in and out of your homes and businesses in Edmonton. GS Construction is currently looking for experienced pipe layers and top men. Visit gsconstruction.ca/careers today.
Mr. Rooter cries like a little tiny baby child.
Hey, Mr. Rooter, you've got a package from Mrs. Rooter.
Aw, the card says, "Thank you for our unbreakable bond. You're the Pro Press fitting to my copper pipe."
Ooh, what's in the package, Mr. Rooter?
Let's see. It's a Plumbus 2000 spud wrench. She knew I'd never buy one for myself.
Just like tears. It's flowing or it's free with Mr. Rooter.
I love that woman.
Need an excuse to upgrade your ride? Well, we got a few to share. Go Auto has over 18,000 new and used vehicles ready to test drive right now. With more than 70 locations, your perfect match could be closer than you think. A family-friendly SUV for soccer practice, a fuel-sipping commuter, or a hardworking truck that's ready for anything. Trusted brands and a team that's actually happy to help. Explore thousands of vehicles today at goauto.ca.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Papa John's. Calling all pizza lovers at Papa John's, you can get a large one-topping pizza for only $14.99 using promo code L1499 at papajohns.ca or on the Papa John's app.
This is Sports 1440, where Edmonton talks sports.
On YouTube, Facebook, and X.
Here's Jason Gregor.
Brought to you by PlayAlberta.ca.
$3:25 on a Wednesday afternoon. How are you? Jason Gregor, Connor Halley, Declan Cougar, Sports 1440, sports1440.ca, YouTube, Facebook, X, Instagram. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. Always brought to you by our title sponsor, PlayAlberta.ca, where you can get in the game, try out some things. Hey, we got it up there, Cons, under the Gregor's Hunch. If you follow along in my game day articles for years, we've had the not so obvious game day prediction. And so today, Vlad Guerrero, home run, his first home run of the season tonight at home. Dare to dream. Check it out at PlayAlberta.ca. Got to happen at some point, doesn't it? Why not tonight? You never know. Never know. Now, let's go in the room, brought to you by Action Electrical. 53 years, coming up on 54 years. Grown, diversified into one of the most dominant electrical contractors in the province. They can help you out in anything. Project, service, solar for your home or your commercial building, and get you all the great rebates and federal grants. Learn more at actionelectrical.com. As Tyler Yaremchuk from Daily Faceoff, Edmonton, formerly Oilers, joins us now. Ty, how you doing?
That's going to take a little bit to get used to, won't it?
Yeah, you guys going to have to come up with a shorter name than that.
Yeah, there's got to be some sort of acronym we can start using.
Yeah, something. So, was there like a ceremony at the office today?
I'm still technically on vacation. I just got back, so I've been joking with everyone that I go away for 10 days and you guys change the name of the company on me. Like, what's happening here? But I do know, in all seriousness, we're going to be having a funeral at the Pint on September 26th for the old logo, so people can put that in their calendars.
All right. Few things. Let's start with the Jays. And they're 2.5 back, but there's lots of teams around them. They have a really a much tougher schedule. I looked at it yesterday. Texas actually has the easiest schedule, at least for the next 2 weeks. And they do technically have the easiest one because they only had 25 games remaining against playoff teams or the teams that are right in that mix: Cleveland, Detroit, Toronto, etc. Whereas Toronto had 32. Now they're down to 31 because they won last night. But if they're going to make the playoffs, the next 2 weeks will determine it. Because if they can stay close to Texas, well, the Rangers play the Angels and the Giants and the Athletics and the Angels, and their Jays are playing the Red Sox and the Yankees and the Rays and the Yankees. That's really the next 2 weeks is likely what it comes down.
Yeah, and listen, I've been someone who's been banging his fist on the table saying this team is due for a hot streak at some point. Vladdy can't be this cold all year and all these other pieces. And, like George Springer was someone that was really frustrating for a good chunk of this season. He found his bat for a little bit. They don't need to win, to your point. They don't need to win 10 in a row starting right now. What they really have to do is just keep their head above water as they play this really tough stretch. And then in September, they have the easiest schedule in baseball, or one of them. And the other thing they have, I'm just looking at it right now, starting on September 14th, a 3-gamer against the Tigers. Starting on September 18th, a 3-gamer against the Texas Rangers. So if you can stay in the mix and be 1.5, 2 games back, getting to that middle part of September, you have enough head-to-head matchups where you're not dead. The odds might not be in your favor, but you're not dead. And, to be able to chart a path to that being a reality based on where they were, let's call it 2.5 weeks ago, it really didn't feel like there was a path to them being not dead, but you can't say that it's over right now.
No, definitely not. Imagine where they could be if they wouldn't have got swept by Texas, right? That if you break down one series, which is kind of fun to do, but if you just said, hey, they didn't get that 4-game sweep to Texas, and even if they won one of those games, right? If they won 2, they'd be basically half game back. But I look at the Jays and they got all sorts of injury problems that keeps mounting on their pitching staff, but I'll give their pitchers credit, man. Like their pitchers battle. If their hitters could ever hit consistently, they could make the playoffs pretty easily, I think.
Yeah, and last night was hopefully the first sort of sign of it, where Dylan Cease didn't have his A stuff for kind of the first time in 4 or 5 outings, and they had to go out and score 5 runs to win that ball game, and they did it. It wasn't flashy. It was still, in a weird way, frustrating for their offense because there was, first and second, 1 out, second and third, 1 out, and they're scoring runs with a sac fly, then they strike out, and Vladdy looks at one down the middle, doesn't swing, and then they need to, have a little squib. I think Ernie Clement almost got doubled up. He almost into a double play. Okay, they scored the winning run on that play with Springer coming across. So it's still not flashy, but they're showing at least like signs of life that they're the Blue Jays of last year. They're getting some longer at bats. They're having these sort of unsung heroes step up on different nights. And the one thing, I heard you allude to it coming back from break there, the one thing that's got to happen if they're going to put together the kind of 6-week run that'll get them back into a playoff spot here is you need Vladimir Guerrero Jr. back to his old self. I know it's beating our head against a wall continuing to talk about this. I feel like every hit I've done with you for the past 2 months, it's been like, hey, is this the week for Vladdy? But like, it's got to happen at some point here. You're not going to play. I think they have to play like 660 baseball, 640 baseball down the stretch here to get in. You're not doing that if Guerrero's going to hit 1 home run in that time. Like, he's got to get the power back in his swing.
You think they have to play that good? Like, Texas is in right now at 500. Like, I don't know if a team's going to have to be that many games 500 to get in because there's so many other teams that are average.
Yeah, that's fair. I was using basically that's to get to last year's number of what the last wild card team was. But maybe this is a year with how mushy it kind of is in the conversation that you can be 3 or 4 wins less. The only thing that does kind of scare me is that there are so many teams still. I mean, Baltimore after losing today is now tied with them, but Cleveland, Minnesota, Detroit, Texas. I think the fear is that one of those teams probably does go on a heater as well. Like, I highly doubt all 4 of them will just play 500 or 520 ball down the stretch. So if one of them gets hot, you need to get hotter than them.
Yeah, no, it's fair. Now, Joey Votto, who knew a thing or two about hitting, he posted this yesterday while he was watching the game. He goes, quote, Vladdy's just not backlegging or back hipping balls. His forward move is delaying his barrel from snapping in place. He sees the ball, knows it's drivable, but his move causes the bat to lag, keeping him from getting the barrel to the target. And then he very humbly goes, agree. And I was hilarious. People like as if they even know what he's talking about. But that was one of the more precise and direct explanations I've seen about Vladdy, where, you look at it because, when people talk about trying, of course he's trying, right? Oh, mentally, is he a little bit injured? Potentially. But, his forward move is when he describes it like that. Now, when you watch it, you can literally see it. And so I know the hitting coaches, I would assume anyway, they're doing something, but it almost seems like I haven't seen much change in Vladdy. That's the part that's concerning about this year, Tyler, is that it wasn't like, okay, you know what? Oh, now he's been on a hit and man, he's just getting unlucky. He's really pounded a lot of balls here lately. He isn't. The only thing he's doing is pounding them into the ground repeatedly.
So I love that you went there because I pulled up his baseball savant page, which will kind of illustrate some similar stuff to what Joey Votto's saying. But like the good numbers are the numbers in red on baseball savant, and then the blue and gray mean average, or blue means like bad and cold. The numbers that are red, his expected batting average is high. His bat speed is still 93rd percentile in all of baseball. His K percentage is in the 89th percentile. So again, he's not striking out. He's putting his bat on the ball. The only problem is even his hard hit percentage is up at 64. That's still like well above league average, but his sweet spot percentage is in the 10th percentile in the majors. His barrel percentage is all the way down at 39%. So he is swinging the bat very hard. The bat speed, like I said, 93rd percentile. He is swinging hard. He is making contact. At times, that ball is going 114 miles an hour right into the dirt in front of him, and it's frustrating. So it's a mechanical thing. We're back to where we were. Like, this isn't a new issue for Guerrero. He had that great year when they played half the season in like Dunedin and Buffalo, where he hit all those home runs in the minor league park. And then I think it was that next season when he was back in a major league ballpark at the Rogers Center most of the time, he was killing earthworms. Everything was going into the ground, and it took him a while to figure it out. So that is the frustrating part, is that this isn't something new with Guerrero. It's something he struggled with in the past.
Yeah, no, that's fair. It's been a long struggle this year, right? So that's the part that I think this is just kind of weird, just how prolonged it has been. Going to the orders, we're getting about a month away now from training camp. Rookie camp actually is a month on September 11th, and then you got the main camp on the 15th, preseason games on the 19th, regular season game on the 29th. It's getting here pretty quick. When you like, a lot of people are talking, and I'm not into lines. Honestly, I think it's kind of a waste of time to talk lines. I'd rather talk minutes overall, because who's going to play where and stuff. Do you see Ryan Nugent-Hopkins at the end of the year averaging top 6 5-on-5 ice time per game amongst fours? Or do you think this is the year he slides down a bit?
I think this is the year it comes down a little bit. And I took a look at this a couple weeks ago over at the site Daily Faceoff Edmonton. You can still type in OilersNation.com and it'll bring you to where you need to go. But I looked at it, and last year, Ryan Nugent-Hopkins played like 548 out of his 955 5-on-5 minutes next to Connor McDavid. So that is well above 50%. That's probably, I'm not great at doing math on the fly, but that's probably right around like 57, 58% of his minutes. Again, and I agree with you, line projections in August is silly. Line projections kind of at any point are kind of silly, because throughout the year, injuries happen, guys get hot, guys get cold. But I think when we look at the end of next season, instead of Nugent-Hopkins playing 58% of his 5-on-5 time with Connor McDavid in a season, I wouldn't be surprised if that's closer to maybe 35 to 40%. And who ends up eating that now available 20% of ice time? Matt Savoy is probably a great candidate. I'm really interested in a conversation about, can Matt Savoy steal some power play time from Ryan Nugent-Hopkins? I thought he looked good in that sort of Mark Letestu bumper spot on the far side when he got a cup of coffee with the top power play unit at the end of the year. So I think Matt Savoy should get a lot more time next to 97. And then the wild card's obviously Ike Howard. Maybe it's not there at the start of the year. I'm not penciling Ike Howard into the top line to begin the season, but I wouldn't be surprised if he eats up a little chunk by the end of the year, if he gets some extended looks in the top 6. So I do think Nuge will kind of go from that 58% range, probably closer down to that 35. It's going to be a step back. I see him on the third line more, but to just sit here and say on August 12th, well, Nuge is a third liner for the year. Like, no, he's obviously, everyone's going to move up and down.
Yeah. I think it might come down to his minutes and how to allocate some. The one guy here, well, we talk a lot about Savoy and Howard, and rightfully so, because he's played for him before, because he's produced for him before, and he was their best forward in the playoffs and was pretty consistent in the regular season when he was healthy, because he missed half the year. But if Kasperi Kapanen stays healthy this year, he, to me, could be a real wild card for the Edmonton Oilers.
I'm with you. I had him in kind of my it's possible section of the which Oilers could score 20 goals next season, because you certainly can't say it's impossible, right? He seems to fit well on that line with Leon Draisaitl. And, Bowman had those comments the other day that they're planning on going into the year with $4 to $4.5 million in cap space. And he did say, granted, that if they were to add anywhere, it's going to be with a forward. But I can see them going into next year with the same forwards they have right now, and that means there's a spot open in the top 6. And yeah, I totally think Kapanen would have an inside track. You mentioned the relationship with Mike Babcock. He scored 20 goals for Babcock back in that 18-19 season, but obviously the main thing here for Kapanen is staying healthy. Like, go through his career. It's hard to find, 75 plus game seasons here. And if you're going to be a guy who's sort of in that range, it's hard to score 20 goals if you're not going to play in 80 games, right? So he's got to stay healthy. That's one of the big reasons why I have some cause for concern. But if I were to ask you, Greggs, to flip this around, who has a better chance of scoring 20 goals for the Oilers next year, Ike Howard or Kasperi Kapanen? I think my answer is Kapanen.
Yeah, probably. Just because he's done it before. Like Ike Howard, I'm very intrigued by, because I think people look at his 29 games in NHL and they're like, oh yeah, it wasn't really impactful. Fair. But he learned a lot in those 29 games. Meanwhile, he got to keep his confidence high, and he played very well in the American League and scored 4 goals in 47 games. The thing that Howard has now, Kapanen actually is their best shooting winger. He's got a rocket of a shot. Now, he's not a guy who plays top 6 very often, but that guy can shoot the puck. But Ike Howard is much more of a shooter than Zach Hyman is. Zach Hyman's around the net guy, right? Like, Nuge doesn't have, it's decent. He has the one snapshot, pretty good, but he's not really a shooter per se. That's what Howard's going to bring. And I think Howard's going to have to, right from day one of training camp, play to his skills, play to his strengths, right? Still got to be mindful defensively for sure under Babcock, but play to your strengths and score a few goals in training camp and in the preseason, because he's one of the lucky ones who can play more than 2 preseason games, because he hasn't played 100 NHL games yet. So that to me is like, Howard he's intriguing because, like, I don't see any reason how he's on your 4th line. He's either in your top 9 or he's going to be in the American.
Oh, yeah, 1,000%. Like, this shouldn't be a guy who's playing 11 minutes next year on some bottom 6 line and, only getting a couple of ozone starts. Like, if he's here to begin the season, it's because Babcock knows or thinks that he can trust him with some pretty heavy and regular minutes in the top 6. So part of that for Howard, too, is going to be playing in a way that fits the style of Connor McDavid and Leon Draisaitl, right? You got to do things that gel with the way they want to play the game. Like, I think about how many times in Vasily Podkolzin's kind of early Oilers tenure, when he was getting shifts with Leon Draisaitl, would you see Leon Draisaitl on the bench kind of like, I'll use the term barking at him, but giving him some amount of feedback on where he's got to be at different points. And I mean, you're someone who's actually at the rink. I just kind of see the secondhand info, but Podkolzin's always one of those guys who's out there late, working on the one-timer, working on this, working on that. Like, that's what Ike Howard's got to have too, right? It's got to be like, okay, you can't just show up to training camp, dust your hands off and say, boy, I hope I'm good enough to play the whole year. Like, there's an evolution to it, but he has the raw skills and he has the raw shot that, like, man, I can see if he's learned a few things down in Bakersfield, and by all reports last year, he was working really hard on, things away from the puck. If he did that, like, you're telling me Connor or Leon wouldn't salivate with the opportunity to play with someone with that kind of scoring touch?
Yeah, definitely a possibility for sure. The green and gold quickly, their defense kind of first off game of the season, and really came down to their tackling wasn't very good. Wasn't very physical. I know today I was down at practice and they actually had tackling stations set up on different things. And I talked to Robbie Smith, like, tackling's a form, but it's as much about angles as it is, obviously you want proper technique, but you can look really bad, or guys can break tackles just by you not taking the proper angle. If you have your head on the wrong side of the body when you want to make the tackle. And it was kind of back to basic day for them. How do you think Edmonton responds against Toronto on Saturday?
Yeah, like, the limited knowledge I have about football too is that the angle part of it is, like, even if some guy's gonna, quote, break your tackle and get past you, are you slowing him down the 40% where some support can come in at a different angle and kind of make sure that it's not a broken tackle for a 40-yard gain and it's a broken tackle for a 5-10-yard gain instead? So that'll be a big part of it. I mean, in a sport like football and in a league like the Canadian Football League, where there's so few teams and you only play once a week, it's crazy how the perception can kind of change. Because, again, I'll reference my vacation. I went on vacation. The Elks were 6-1, and everyone's like, Grey Cup contender. And then they lose a couple times. And, is the defense shaky, this and that? I'm going to let the sample size kind of play out here. I'm not going to sound a bunch of alarm bells about the defense based on the one poor game against the Owls. So, it's gotten tight. If you don't win this week, you probably start looking a little more concerned in your rear view mirror. Winnipeg's lost 2 in a row as well, but if they get things back on track, you maybe start to feel a bit nervous. But for now, I think you just kind of shrug and say, hey, it was a bad game, and you see if they can bounce back against, an Argos team that has given up more points than them in one fewer game. So the offense should be able to get back too.
Ty, welcome back. Enjoy the change and grieve quietly.
Yeah, I will. Thank you.
There you go. That's Tyler Yaremchuk. Formerly Oilers Nation. Now it's a Daily Face-Off Edmonton. Sites, everything's the same, but just it's a name change. Don't worry. If you go to, if you've been reading the site a lot of times, go to oilersnation.com. It's still there. So don't worry. It'll be a while. The site is still up for quite some time. It's just going. Anybody who's ever gone through a name change, it takes some time. So that's what they're doing. Take a quick break. Jason Gregor, Connor Halley, Declan Kruger with you. It's the Gregor Show presented by PlayAlberta.ca.
It's Dollar Drink Summer at McDonald's. Sip on a refreshing small fountain drink or a small iced coffee for just $1 each plus tax, all summer long. Only at McDonald's. Excludes flavored and cloud iced coffees. At participating Canadian restaurants. Taxes extra. Prices exclude delivery.
Legacy Heating and Cooling is serious about cooling. In fact, we offer multiple ways to cool your home. So you better
call Legacy. Call Legacy.
If you're looking for traditional air conditioning, we got you.
Call Legacy. Call Legacy.
Or ask us about a heat pump to help you heat and cool.
Call Legacy. Call Legacy.
Cool with AC or cool with a heat pump. Cool your home with Legacy Heating and Cooling.
Come for Canada's largest trade shows, the biggest names in entertainment, exhilarating sporting events, and more. And stay for the experience at the Edmonton Expo Centre. Looking for the perfect place to host your next big event? From trade shows to galas, meetings, and concerts, the Edmonton Expo Centre has the space, event expertise, and service to make your next event unforgettable. With over 522,000 square feet of flexible event space, in-house catering, and operational expertise, they bring your biggest vision to life. Learn more at edmontonexpocentre.com today.
Hey, my name is Samantha. I work as an assembly technician for Ford of Canada. What I love about working at Ford is knowing I'm part of something I'm proud to stand behind. And when Ford does something like employee pricing, it makes me even prouder to work here. And that means you pay what I pay.
Ford employee pricing is on now. On select 2026 F-150 models, get over $13,600 in total price adjustments. For details, visit your Alberta Ford store or Ford.ca.
It might have been scraped by the snowblower, dented while door crashing, or crunched at the company Christmas party. At some point over the winter, your car was damaged and it's been hiding under a coat of winter grime.
Then come and see Robertson Body Works. We can take care of the damage and the dirt. This week only, call and book a repair and get a complete auto detailing absolutely free.
But you have to book your appointment before the week is up. Go to robertsonbodyworks.com.
I'm Tim Robertson, and I fix cars.
For over 60 years, the folks at Diablo Boots have been selling the best Canadian-made boots. Handcrafted in Winnipeg, Canada West makes the best quality cowboy, biker, and work boots for Diablo Boots with replaceable soles and heels. Why buy cheaper quality like Ariat, Justin, and Red Wing made in China when Canadian-made is better? Support Canada's workers and Diablo Boots for the best boots. So save on boots by Save On Foods. That's Diablo Boots, 3340 Gateway Boulevard on the east side of Save On Foods. Canada West and Diablo Boots, the two best names in the boots business.
Feeling overwhelmed by debt? Concerned about what the next few weeks or months will bring for your finances? My name is Parveen Middleton. I'm a licensed insolvency trustee at BDO here in Edmonton. You don't have to navigate this alone. Together, we can review your options and build a personalized plan to reduce your payments and get you out of debt, so you can breathe again. Call 1-833-BDO-TALK or visit bdodebt.ca to book your free consultation and discover your debt-free future.
Does your bank do local? We do. When you bank with Vision Credit Union, you're banking with a rural Albertan cooperative that cares about the community where you live. There's no question. We actively support our rural communities at the local level through charitable donations, volunteerism, local team and event sponsorships, and by returning millions in profit shares to our members every year. Does your bank do that? We do local. Bank with Vision Credit Union. VisionCU.ca.
No fluff, no fillers, just pure entertainment. Sports 1440 brings the heat with bold opinions, big personalities, and Edmonton's fiercest fans. This is your turf. This is Edmonton's sports leader, Sports 1440.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Cantork, made in Canada, made for Canada, where extreme isn't theoretical. Find your solution at cantork.com.
The Jason Gregor Show, the best of Edmonton sports talk and beyond. This is Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
You doing? Jason Gregor, Connor Halley, Declan Kruger with you on a lovely Wednesday afternoon. PlayAlberta.ca, of course, our sponsor today, just for fun. We have, we always have the Jason Gregor Show odds boost specials. You know, we got one, if you're looking way ahead, Oilers win the division for the first time since 87 to end the drought. Sure, we got Connor's special pick of the day. We got a Blue Jays bonanza, and we just have it the old Gregor hunch, the old not so obvious game day prediction today that Vlad Guerrero. It's his first ever home run at home. Not first ever. First home run at home this season. Nuts. Crazy to say that, but it's true. It's happened. Now, let's get to our Elks report brought to you by Go Auto. Go Auto, not only do they have lots of vehicles, 17,000 of them, they also have huge charts and give back to the community to the tune of over $27 million that they reinvest and donate back into the community to charities they care about. And that's awesome at goauto.ca. And caught up with defensive coordinator of the Elks, JC Sherritt, today after practice. And hey, the D has been good all year long. It's one game. I don't think that it's cause for concern. But how does a coach maybe look at that? Is there new ways to challenge his team for a bounce back effort, or his defensive group, after an off game in Montreal?
You know, I think they've challenged each other, honestly. But we looked back at it, and we looked at tackling as one of the biggest things. You know, you're going to get beat. They have some good players, but tackling is something that we control, and that's what we get paid to do. So it's one of our bigger focuses. We went in and did the analytics of yards after contact, where we were for our first 6-7 compared to the last two. So it's something we're very focused on.
Is fatigue potentially something that creeps into that? You know, you're on a stretch of games here where there's no buys and a short week, long week. And I know it's not an excuse, but you played the game. Does fatigue come in sometimes when tackling, or is it just simply the technique that's slipping a bit?
I mean, fatigue's a factor, but it is for all teams. Montreal was beat up and fatigued too. So that's when it's really your technique really shines through, or it hurts you. And that's something that we talk to our guys about. It's a brutal season, but that's what we're all paid to do. So you got to find a way, and I think that's where your focus and your technique needs to save you.
You've had a lot of injuries this year in the linebacking core. It's kind of crazy. And you know what? I guess now it's this week. Another guy's turn. Logan's going to be out for a few weeks. Reed's practicing there today. And I know you have options of different guys, but that's such a unique position. Is it tougher to replace the Sam than other positions potentially?
Yeah, I think, our Sam in our system is very DB oriented as well. It's that hybrid position, so it is a unique spot, but I think we've done a good job of preparing for situations like this. You don't hope for them, but you prepare for them. And we've got a lot of reps and a lot of guys at those positions. And, again, it's part of it, and it's making sure we study and rep throughout the week and get the most out of our week.
Walk me through kind of the decision process when you look to say, okay, who are we going to replace? Because there was options. Garnes could move down. You could move Kobe to safety, and, you could play Reed on the field side, which for a first game in the CFL is a little bit easier, right? Things come a lot quicker on the boundary side usually. So how much does that play into the factor? Or are you a believer like, hey, man, the guy's been practicing good. Let's just throw him in and see what he's got?
I mean, I think when you look at Terez's skill set, his speed, quickness, and ability to tackle is why we love him so much in general. And he's repped the boundary half. He's repped in the boundary for a very long time. We're excited to see him play.
Toronto They like to pass the ball a ton. They don't really run. Now, teams can always change. How do you balance that when you look at your game plan ahead to this Saturday against a team that's predominantly a passing team?
Yeah, I think no matter what, you have to win first down. And while they throw a lot on first down, you do see what's popped up game after game is explosive runs. They don't run it often, but they're chunking, they're hitting 40, 50 yarders on people. And that's something we're very aware of. Because if they do, if we let them have the run game, now it opens up everything. So we have to stop run first and foremost, no matter who we play. And we got to be cognizant of that. And then you're getting passed on second down. But if you don't win first down, you're going to have a long day.
Going back to the tackling, JC, and you know what, that was something you pride yourself on. And I'm sure you've had a game where you didn't like your tackling. What can players do individually in a week leading up after a subpar week of tackling? Is it tackling dummies? Because there's not a ton of contact in practice anymore in pro football. It's just, it's not really allowed in the CFL that many days anyway. So how do you work on your technique when you don't really get to tackle?
Yeah, I think coaching that's where we got to come in. We pulled up every missed tackle we had and we watched it as a group. We went back over our tackling install in training camp, how we tackle, how we finish, how we practice. And then today it was a tackling circuit. It wasn't individual. It was stations working our tackling technique. So we're doing everything we can to attack what we feel is the issue right now, which is tackling. And it's just, identifying your issues and improving them.
And lastly, Tamari Fox, another guy, the walking wounded, adds to it. You've rotated a lot on the D-line, but still, it's like any position when you bring in new guys. What's the challenge this week with another new face, at least in the rotation on the D-line?
Just coming in and doing your job. We're very excited about Carmine coming on. He's looked great through practice, and it's his moment, and I think he's prepped for it. So, it's coming in and being a part of, we talk about 4=1 with that four defensive linemen. So when we run games and things like that, just doing your job at your best ability.
I am. There's a few guys after talking to JC. Obviously, I'm very interested to see the young Therese Reed, number 41, and he'll be filling in at the Sam linebacker position to start in the place of Logan Jr., who's out for a few weeks. Not going to play on Saturdays. Not going to play next Friday against the Bombers. They're hoping he returns after Labor Day. Tamari Fox, my understanding, has got a dislocated elbow, and so he'll be missing a few weeks for sure. And so Myers will start, but they're also going to bring in another player on the D line. And JC Sherritt says, you know what, man, I don't know what to expect, but from what I've seen in practice, I'm very intrigued to see what he can do in a game. So Carmine Stone is number 79, and he will be dressing for the first time this season for the green and gold. And when you look at this defense, Cons, and it was an off game. It happens. It's going to happen. You'd much rather it happen in the middle of the season in the playoffs for a team. And the tackling, which had been pretty good, really, I think I've seen it start to slip on special teams, and it creeped into defense. And I think you're going to see a better technical game defensively. But I also think we're going to see some changes on special teams this week.
They need it. They definitely need it. And, I think that's kind of when you get beat in the fashion that they did, right? Like if you lose close games, oh yeah, we just made a couple mistakes here or there. Like that defense got whooped at times down the field. So changes there is good. Special teams, we talked about it yesterday as well. Like they're not getting big returns, and the coverage hasn't been as good, despite having a very good kicker and a punter who maybe occasionally kicks it a little bit too far, maybe one more hang time, and you'll give up a little more distance. But I'm intrigued to see what Carmine Bastone could do. Northwestern football guy's probably quite intelligent. He's a big dude who showed that he can get after the passer. So yeah, I'm looking forward to it. Gavin Meyer as well. I mean, whenever he's been out there, he's found ways to make plays intercepting the football. Looking forward to seeing what he can do trying to get after the quarterback. But yeah, I think this is a chance of redemption here for this team on their defense side of it, especially, and another chance for Ed Hervey to show the depth that he's been able to acquire.
Yeah, well, their depth has been put to the test so far this season. There's no doubt about that. You just look at look who's on the 6-game injured list. Brandon Barlow didn't even play this year. Luca Burton Cron, their long snapper. No one even really talks about that guy. He hasn't played all year long. Ateva Maga-Clements, Darlin Newell got hurt in training camp. Robustelli is yet to play a game this year. Jordan Williams looking really good. Then he got hurt. Wood Manzi got hurt in the first game of the season. Ben Sangmua. Like that's, what is that? 9 guys just on the 6th game alone. Royce Menchie was back in the 1 game just for 1, but he started the season on the 6th game. Like they have endured a ton of injuries. So you've got some depth. And I don't know, Deck, did you get anything from Carmine in training camp at all? It's hard to watch everybody, but I'm curious if you had any impressions of him.
Yeah, fast out of his 3-point would be the biggest thing I took away from him specifically. You made a really good point. I don't want to sit up here and lie and just kind of word vomit about the player when he wasn't someone I was paying, an absorbent amount of attention to. But quick out of the 3-point, stays low, seems pretty good with his hands. Those would be my biggest kind of quick takeaways for everyone.
Yeah. Quick break. When we come back, we'll get to the round table. We got Strutty coming up. KK later on, some stats of the day, 5 questions, and more. It's the Gregor Show presented by PlayAlberta.ca as we get to the Con Man and the Sports 1440 update brought to you by Hire Good. Professional quality services done right. Go to hiregood.ca and find out how they can help you.
The Sports 1440 update.
Toronto Blue Jays are back in action tonight, taking on the Red Sox once again. Looking to make it 3 straight. First pitch, 5:07. We'll join it in progress following the Gregor Show at 6 o'clock on our AM feed. Right now, Rockies up on the Diamondbacks 6-2. Astros have a 2-1 lead over the Giants in the 8th, and in the 7th, Padres at home trail the Brewers 2-1. Earlier today, it was the Twins over the Orioles 7-5. Cards drop the Phillies 7-1, and the Athletics falling at home to the Rays 8-4. From the association, 9-time All-Star Russell Westbrook announcing his retirement after 18 seasons in the league. The 37-year-old was the league MVP in 2018 and has the most triple-doubles in history, 209. And the Los Angeles Lakers being sold to Josh Kushner and Bob Iger for a record $12.5 billion. Mark Walter purchased a controlling interest in the team from the Buss family just last year for a then-record value of $10 billion. Game 1 of the CEBL finals goes tonight. Winnipeg and Brampton permitting with the Honey Badgers. Tip-off set just after 5 o'clock. And in the WNBA, the Tempo in Arlington set to take on the Wings at 6. You've also got the Valkyries up against the Sky and the Lynx taking on the Fire. Coming up in hour 3 of the Jason Gregor Show, we'll ask 5 questions, get to the roundtable, and be joined by former NHLer Jason Strudwick. I'm Connor Halley. This has been a Sports 1440 update.
Sports 1440, Stingray radio station. CKJR broadcasts from West Edmonton Mall and Wetaskiwin.
Download the free Stingray music app and listen wherever you go.
Tap into the fun of Play Alberta's most popular casino games. From the fast-paced spins of Cash Eruption to the retro thrills of Sevens Wild, online excitement is always at your fingertips. Spin through your choice of popular slots or discover Alberta-exclusive games you won't find anywhere else. Visit playalberta.ca/Gregor to learn more. That's playalberta.ca/Gregor. Must be 18 plus to play. If you gamble, use your game sense.
And now Action Electrical's testing team is on defense duty. They're the guardians of safety and compliance, a critical part of any lineup.
Precisely. They perform rigorous safety and code compliance testing for commercial operations. Think of them as the referees, ensuring everything is up to standard before disaster strikes.
Their preventative plays are legendary, spotting faults early. Hire the Action Electrical team to bring home a win for your project. Visit actionelectrical.net.
Harley-Davidson of Edmonton is turning up the heat for their annual garage sale and swap meet. Catch the Twin West Crew Stunt Team live for 2 massive shows packed with smoke and fire. Plus, score huge deals on parts, gear, and clothing. Check out artisan vendors, local riding groups, and grab a bite at the food trucks. August 15th, 10 to 3 at Harley-Davidson of Edmonton on the Yellowhead Trail. Locally owned and operated since 1980. Find more at hdedmonton.com.
When your project can't afford downtime, call Japa Equipment Rentals. From excavators and wheel loaders to compacted equipment, Japa has the machines you need. Trusted since 1972. Visit JapaEquipment.com or stop by our Edmonton or Calgary locations.
Are you a skilled laborer?
Afternoon, how are you?
Wants to talk to you.
A heavy equipment operator with Traco or backhoe experience? All-Star Construction wants to talk to you, too. With work in and around Edmonton for local land developers, All-Star Construction offers year-round employment. Whether it's power, gas, or telecom, developers rely on All-Star Construction to get the job done. So if you're a skilled laborer or a heavy equipment operator with Traco or backhoe experience searching for work, search All-Star Construction on Indeed.
At Papa John's, we know it's not just a pizza. It's a family gathering, a happy birthday, a special celebration, or just a sigh of relief at the end of a busy day. For a limited time, get large one-topping pizzas for only $14.99 each on original, thin, or New York-style crust. Use promo code L1499 at papajohns.ca or on the Papa John's app. Get yours today. Better ingredients, better pizza. Papa John's.
Thinking of growing your business? In partnership with Prairie's Can, the Alberta Chambers of Commerce is helping businesses explore new opportunities, new markets, and build connections through organized trade missions across Canada. Find the right mission for you at abchamber.ca/trade missions.
Photographers, start your cameras. Vision Credit Union's annual photo contest is back. We're asking you to show us the people, places, and moments that made you glad you chose this rural life. Maybe it's the view from your farm, a walk down Main Street, neighbors pitching in, a weekend at the rodeo, or a sunset down a back road. Share your photo to show why life in rural Alberta is a choice worth celebrating. Enter and vote at whatsyourshare.ca.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Leading Edge Physio. From weekend warriors to professional athletes, kids playing soccer to grandparents in the garden, rotator cuff tears and tendonitis to post-surgical knees and hips, we fix your body. Life shouldn't hurt. LeadingEdgePhysio.com.
This is Sports 1440, where Edmonton talks sports.
On YouTube, Facebook, and X.
Here's Jason Gregor.
Brought to you by PlayAlberta.ca.
We continue on halfway through the Wednesday edition of the Gregor Show. We're now into, for us, of course, we work a little bit later. Now we're into the back half of the week. I like it. Over 50% of the week's done, baby. It's all good. It's all smooth sailing. Downhill into the weekend. Love it. Hopefully some rain stays away. Welcome back to the Gregor Show, presented by PlayAlberta.ca. Alberta's only website that has casino, sports, lottery, instants, live dealer, all in one place at PlayAlberta.ca. Also, the Jason Gregor Show odds boost specials that we have some fun ones, a few long shots, and we have our, if you follow us for hockey for years, we had the not so obvious game day prediction, and we're doing that today for the Jays. Vladdy Guerrero, home run at home, first this season, which is a wild thing to say on August 12th, but it's true. I could see if you didn't believe me, but it is true. I get it. Now let's get to the round table. Connor Halley, Declan Kruger, and Conman, you are up first.
All right. I'm not trying to incite any panic here, and I'm not using the term must win by any means. But when you look at this matchup this weekend for the Edmonton Elks, it's a pretty big game. Like, the Elks have to go out there and be on at their best, because you just look at the schedule around them right now. If you were to hypothetically lose, well, one, all of a sudden that losing streak is continuing to grow, and you're at 3 games all of a sudden. But Winnipeg takes on Ottawa, probably another win. So all of a sudden, there's only 1 game differential between 2 and 3 in the standings with that Winnipeg team coming to your house the following weekend. You've got BC and Calgary playing this weekend, and one of those 2 teams, unless there's somehow a tie, is going to be closing in on you another game there. Then all of a sudden, going into the bye week, that's great. You got 2 games against Calgary for a chance to create some more space in between you. But not only on the field, you got to give these home fans something to watch, right? We need to see some wins from home. You're starting to gain that momentum, getting people back in the seats. There's excitement around the team, and right now it looks great. You're 6-3, second in the West, but those teams are going to be making that push. I think that this one for the Elks, not a must-win, like I said, but urgency level, 7 out of 10. We need to see a good performance and a bounce back performance. Not only this team, also Justin Rankin. Got to get him going, but that's just a kind of a microcosm of that. I'm saying need to win this one. Got to win it.
Ooh, are you calling this a must?
Just under must win. Just under must win.
It's a need to win.
Would be really good to win this one.
I agree with the premise a lot. But if you lose, you're still 6-10, which isn't ideal, but you're still 6-10. What it does do is it reduces your breathing room, because if you look at the out of town scoreboard, now they have to win themselves, but Winnipeg, those teams chasing them could easily win, and suddenly now you got only a 2-point lead on them, and then your next 3 games are against Winnipeg and Calgary. So I think it's probably bigger in the sense of, you know what? Good teams don't want to go on extended losing streaks. Right? And you find ways to win, even if you don't have your best. Maybe you got some injuries. But Toronto is not a dominant team. Edmonton has been a really good team. They only lost to the other 2 top teams in the league. So I think Edmonton just doesn't have to panic, but here's what they have to do. I might say must win, but I would trump you on your must. You know what's a must this week? There is nothing more musty than must. Give Justin Rankin 20 touches in the game.
Yes.
Yeah.
Totally agree on that one.
Yeah.
Now I think I had a tweet last year. Key to success, 25 touches for Justin Rankin.
Yeah.
Circle it, underline it, whatever else you have to do, make it happen. Deck?
Connor, I don't like this take out of you. I love it because I said this on Elks Nation. I said it on the lowdown. I firmly put this one in my can't lose category. And I'm a little upset I'm going third because I'm really just going to be echoing a lot of your guys' points. Not only do you have Winnipeg and Calgary staring down the barrel for the next 3 with some favorable matchups this week for those 2 teams, Winnipeg especially, but the point Jason touched on that I was really going to hammer home, what a 3-game losing streak. And I know it was to Montreal is the best team in the CFL and Saskatchewan by 2. But what a 3-game losing streak can do to the mentality of a team that started so well when you go into these really important divisional games the next 3 weeks. I just think it can kind of shake foundations and shake cores. Not saying that's what's going to happen, but I think it's certainly a residual factor. So I love the take. I said it twice already. Firmly a can't lose for me, and I'm very glad you had that as well. What I wanted to bring to the table for you guys today, and I don't know how often you guys listen to the lowdown, but there's been a little bit of a division surrounding Jalen Hurts and potentially his value as a quarterback. So I really like this stuff. I went and I looked at all the teams across the NFL, and I thought, how many teams are trading their quarterback straight up for Jalen Hurts? And I came up with a list here that I'll throw at you guys. And this isn't going to be me going through all 32 teams. This is just going to be the yeses, not even the borderline teams. But the 9 teams I came up with were the Dolphins, yes. Jets, yes. Browns, Steelers, Colts. I actually think, by the way, if the Jags hadn't had this 13-4 season and Trevor Lawrence hadn't had done what he did, they would have traded him for Jalen Hurts, but I kept him off the list. Then in the NFC, the Vikings, the Falcons, the Panthers, and the Cardinals. So I'm not necessarily saying Jalen Hurts is the 23rd best quarterback in the league, but I think these are the 9 teams, the only 9 teams that would trade their quarterback for Jalen Hurts.
Okay, can you say the 9 again?
Could be a little clearer. Absolutely. Dolphins, Jets,
yes,
Browns, Steelers, Colts, and then in the NFC, Vikings, Falcons, Panthers, Cardinals. Embrace debate.
You didn't have the Saints there?
I think they really like Tyler Show in that building.
What about the Colts?
I had the Colts.
Oh.
I had the Colts.
Because I'm going through the list of guys like, obviously, okay, Matt Stafford, Jared Goff, Prescott, May, Caleb Williams, Bo Nix, Herbert. But like,
see, once you start looking at the teams, right? It gets.
But when I look at some of those quarterbacks, I'm like, would I take Jalen Hurts straight up over Caleb Williams? I think I would. Would I take him straight up over, like, there's a lot of guys.
Right, but that wasn't the question. The question was, would this team trade their guy for Jalen Hurts? And I think that's where a lot of the division comes in. Because I think a lot of these teams like the guy they have.
Oh, so you think a lot of teams are too in love with their own guy?
Well, I think there's also something to be said for like, this is our guy who we either drafted or we put a lot of stock in or belief in.
Yeah, but
And
if you're getting a Super Bowl winning quarterback,
embrace debate.
yeah.
I think with the problem with Jalen Hurts, and I've said this before, like I think you put him throwing the football beside all the other 31 starting quarterbacks in the league, and it's like, okay, he doesn't throw it as well as this guy, but then you put him on the field and he wins. And like last year, just 25 touchdowns, 6 interceptions. His career, 110 touchdowns with just the 45 interceptions. That's a pretty good ratio. As a starter, granted, being on good teams helps. 57 and 25. Like this guy just wins football games. I always hear Eagles fans get super defensive about their quarterback and how he gets ranked so lowly or so low. And I'm thinking, why do you care? He's winning you football games. He got you a Super Bowl ring. Why are you so defensive? Is he going to win quarterback challenges like they used to do in the 90s? I don't think so. He's not going to throw that ball 65 yards or go 9 out of 10 for the accuracy, but he wins you football games. For that reason alone, I mean, to me, I have him probably higher than a lot of people do, but I do those teams you named, 100% they're making the deal. I think there's some like the Saints, I think would be better with Jalen Hurts today.
But do you think they would do it?
Well, they clearly like Tyler Shuck more than I do. So that's probably the difference. Maybe they wouldn't. Today, would you rather have for 1 year Kirk Cousins or Jalen Hurts? I'd rather have Jalen Hurts if my goal is to win football games, but
right. And in this argument, I was for the Raiders. I obviously had Fernando Mendoza as the guy.
He's your guy. So why would you obviously trade him? You wouldn't. But yeah, I mean, I feel like he's just such a polarizing figure because you can complain about him all you want. And the Eagles social media team, the slow motion video of him throwing an interception, just getting the fire going, throwing gasoline on the fire. But at the end of the day, he's going to win you 10 plus games. So that's pretty damn good.
I just saw that. I know they're like, I actually don't mind that a team puts out there that your quarterback throws a pick in practice. Like, who cares? It's going to happen, right? Like it doesn't always, like there's nothing worse than just showing the highlights of the good plays. It's no different than, Evan Bouchard makes 15 really good plays and then they show the highlight of the giveaway. And that's the only thing they show. And everyone's like, see, he sucks. And then they miss all the good plays he makes. So, hey, Jalen Hurts throws an interception on October 12th in practice. Who gives two bleeps for me? Like that's the way I look at it. But I find people are way too thin-skinned now. Oh my God, this porcelain doll of a quarterback. Guess what? Because there's a video online of him throwing an interception in practice, it means he mentally isn't tough enough and he's not going to be able to handle it. Like, what are we doing? Seriously, stop being so soft. Like, honestly, you think he even cares? If I'm an NFL quarterback, you think I'm on social media after training camp to say, hey, what videos did the team post to me? Like, God, I would sure hope not. That'd be terrible. Right? He's probably in the study room. But the thing about Jalen Hurts is he is a polarizing figure for sure. And I think there sometimes becomes just like, well, you know what? We got to analyze the quarterback position to death and be like, well, this year, this guy's better. And this year, that guy. And I'm like, Jalen Hurts in the last 5 years is a top 10 quarterback in the league. At the end of the day, I don't care what number you put him at. Put him at 5, put him at 7, put him at 6, put him at 10. Over the last 5 years, top 10 quarterback in the league. There's not 10 quarterbacks over the last 5 years who are better than Jalen Hurts.
But are there 10 teams who would trade their quarterback for him?
If they're not, then they're idiots.
Ooh,
because
okay.
I'm not falling in love with, I drafted this guy. So guess what? I could trade for someone who's better. I'm doing it all day long.
So a guy like Cam Ward, 1 year of tape, first overall pick, excuse me. Do you take the chance on what he can become for your franchise, or do you take your chance on the proven commodity with the state of the roster in Tennessee?
Well, I have to look at my salary cap situation and then look at the contract and say, okay, so I've got Ward now under contract for 3 more years at much lower of a cap hit, so I control him. You could get Jalen Hurts on that team right now, but I don't suddenly think that makes him a big contender. So it's going to be what's the price tag to get him, I think, because you're not trading straight up 1 for 1, right? Like the Eagles aren't doing that trade. So it's what else do I have to do?
I don't think the Titans are either.
I don't know, man. Like, is Cam Ward In 5 years, you're going to say Cam Ward's as good as Jalen Hurts.
I think to be fair to you guys, though, I really like Cam Ward.
Okay, but no. In 5 years, is Cam Ward going to be as productive in the next 5 years as Jalen Hurts was in the last 5 years?
I would probably be willing to say his individual numbers will be better and the team success won't be near where the Eagles are, because I don't think the Titans are as good of an organization. Look what they letting Vrabel go after they finally had a sniff of success. You know, and I think Cam Ward has some real inherent values that lend you to being a great quarterback, but I don't think he'll have near the success Jalen Hurts does in terms of, team accomplishments.
You can't just totally disregard also that Jalen Hurts has had one of the best offensive lines in football the last few years. AJ Brown, Devontae Smith. He's had a really good team. Howie Roseman deserves a ton of credit for what he's built up with that organization, and then also a very strong defense as well. So it'd be tough to make the team accolades because they've done such a good job in Philadelphia. But I would say for the next 5 years, I might be leaning with Team Declan here. As an individual, he's not going to have that team success, but I might take him. And then especially when it's 33-year-old Jalen versus 29-year-old Cam Ward, I know who I want.
But Jalen Hurts has had 1 year where he kind of struggled, and that was in 2023. But every other year he's single digits in picks. He threw 6 picks last year, threw 5 picks the year before, 6 the year before that. I don't know if he's you just look at his quarterback record, and he doesn't have I don't think his offense, maybe he could pass better, but you never know, because in his offense they don't ask him to pass more.
No, I mean, it's kind of a perfect system with what they've built there with Philly. And I mean, I also love his ability to run. The tush push is one thing, but this guy's mobile back there. He can get the job done. I want to just quickly check out his stats here to see if I can find the fumbles and if that's becoming a problem. But yeah, I mean, he loses fumbles 8 to 9 times. The last couple of years, he's lost 5 to 4. So could clean that up. But again, at the end of the day, that 57-25 record, he's a Super Bowl champion. He performed great in that Super Bowl. Hit the guys he needed to downfield. I'm a fan, and I admit I think I have him higher than most, but there's a lot of teams that I think would probably keep their guy.
That's a good question, though. I do believe teams, fans, media people, everybody falls in love a little bit more with what they have, and sometimes overvalue it and then undervalue players on other teams. But you won't know, it's funny. I don't know if I've ever seen a quarterback win as much as Jalen Hurts and get ripped on it because, he should be more of a superstar. I'm like, what's the goal at the end of the day? The goal is to win games. You play to win the game. He wins a lot. So I think that's their job there. Individual statistics, whatever. There's quarterbacks who pass for 4,000 yards and do a whole lot of nothing. Right? I did like the Trevor Lawrence one, because if I was Jacksonville and you could give me Jalen Hurts or Trevor Lawrence tomorrow, I would make that trade. I'm sorry. Trevor Lawrence to me has never done anything.
I think last season saved him, but I was so close to adding them to the list.
Yeah, but that's 1 year, man. We'll see, maybe. But his playoffs were now it's only 1 game. So it's 1, but I would need to see more from Trevor Lawrence, because that's 1 year of good in his career. When we come back, Jason Strudwick will join us on the Gregor Show, presented by PlayAlberta.ca.
Hi, Mike here from Northgate Chevrolet Buick GMC. Car shopping sucks. That's right. Going back and forth 100 times just to get a price. Give me your credit card for a test drive. What's all these extra fees? That sounds ridiculous. At Northgate, we do things a little differently. Good deals on new, pre-owned vehicles, good people, and a great selection. And don't forget about our employee pricing. Stop in and see us today, 13215 97th Street, or visit us online at northgategm.com.
You're in Northgate country.
Legacy Heating and Cooling is your #1 air conditioning company. So when you can't take living in oppressive heat any longer,
call Legacy. Call Legacy.
If your hot, sticky sheets keep you up all night,
call Legacy. Call Legacy.
If you've decided that you deserve to be cool and comfortable,
call Legacy. Call Legacy.
And with no payments, no interest for 1 year, it could only be Legacy Heating and Cooling.
It's cone season at McDonald's, which means vanilla cones are $1 each plus tax in the McDonald's app all summer long. Soft, creamy, and crunchy. For just $1 each plus tax exclusively in the McDonald's app. App download and registration required at participating McDonald's in Canada.
Pride of the North Side and a man about town. Listen to the Tom Gazzola Show, weekday mornings from 7 to 11 on Edmonton's home for sports. Sports 1440. Be part of the conversation. 833-401-1440.
Struggling to find skilled workers? What if you could fill your talent pipeline with motivated, pre-vetted youth and receive funding to support your efforts? At Careers The Next Generation, we connect Alberta employers with interns in skilled trades, IT, agriculture, forestry, and more. All WCB covered, high school accredited, safety trained, and ready to contribute from day one. With 83% of RAP students continuing their apprenticeships after high school, investing in youth today means securing your workforce for tomorrow. Don't wait. Visit careersnextgen.ca to get started.
Why tee off at the Ranch Golf and Country Club?
A fun, unique layout offering premier conditions. The Ranch has been ranked as one of the top public courses in Canada.
Unmatched value. Score Golf Magazine rated the Ranch as the best value in Edmonton.
The service, from tournaments to special events to the pro shop. Superior service that makes every visit exceptional.
The Ranch Golf and Country Club, a laid-back environment where anyone can enjoy an amazing day on the fairways. For details, visit theranchgolf.com.
Come on down to the Brick. The Price is Right live event is on now. Enter in-store for your chance to instantly win from over $1 million in prizes. No purchase necessary. Then shop incredible savings throughout the store, like up to $2,220 off select sectionals, up to 40% off select mattresses, up to 20% off select major appliances, and up to $600 off big screen TVs. Plus, finance with 0% interest and equal monthly payment on qualified purchases. These offers end August 12th. The Brick, saving you more.
What if one moment changed everything? The turn of the key to your dream home, the roar of the crowd from your Oilers season seats, the trip you've always talked about. With the Stollery Children's Hospital Foundation Mighty Millions Lottery, winning is just the beginning for you and for them. You could win the $2.4 million grand prize show home plus $100,000 cash and more incredible prizes. And every ticket makes a life-changing difference for Stollery kids and their families. Change lives. Support Stollery kids. Be mighty. Get your tickets now at MightyMillionsLottery.com.
He came home, and right away I saw that look in his eyes. I knew what was coming. Before I could even speak, he raised his hand
and just kept texting me, asking where I was, demanding I respond immediately or I'd regret it. It hurt.
More than you can imagine.
Tech abuse is real abuse. If you or someone you know is using technology to harm or control, change is possible. Learn how to end the violence at alberta.ca/endgbv. A message from the Government of Alberta.
Portions of this hour brought to you by On The Rocks. Fundraise for your team or charity at On The Rocks. They'll make custom tickets for your event that include no line cover and one drink for the event. You keep the profits. Learn more at ontherocks.yug.com.
The Jason Gregor Show on Edmonton's go-to station for all things sports. It's Sports 1440.
Presented by Play Alberta, where Alberta wins with casino, sports, and lottery all in one app.
Here's Jason Gregor.
$428. Oh my goodness, how you doing? I have a doozy of a story coming up in our stats of the day in 520. Now, it's a stat because this is something that many of you have participated in your life. in some form or another. I guarantee you've done it. Now, I don't know if to even think about doing it. I'm not even sure many of us would even think about doing it. Obviously, some people do. But to think about it, but then to actually do it, that's what, because there's things we think about all the time in our life, right? You're driving in your car or whatever, right? You probably think, oh my God, what if I kill that guy? Of course, you never do it, right? You don't ever do it. It's lots of things we don't do, right? Simple as, man, I would like to go get a donut today. I didn't. I still would like to, but I'm not going to, right? Happens. But this is one for sports person. Like, this one is diabolical. I'm stunned. So that's coming up in our stats of the day in about an hour's time. Meanwhile, let's get to Struds On, brought to you by Action Electrical, reminding you that, hey, you can take action. If you're thinking about getting solar for your business, commercial building owners who install solar can qualify up to a 30% federal tax credit, plus accelerated capital cost allowance benefits. Learn more, actionelectrical.net. As a former NHLer, now he is an analyst, also hockey school coach. Jason Strudwick joins us. Struddy, how you doing?
Is it people using the squat rack at a gym instead of the preacher curl every day? Is that what people should try?
Struddy? No. This is next level. This is not like when you hear the story, you should tune in honestly at 5:20 today, because you're going to be blown away. Sort of like, because you like to do, like, you like to screw around with people at times, right? Especially when you're buying things online, like, you love it. Right, you're that person that texts to the person who's selling something online. Is this still available? Aren't you? You're probably that guy, right? But this Struddy is a whole new level of that. Like, think that times 100, and then doing it to people that you know. That's what makes it even worse. Like this, you like to play mind games with strangers, right? Because you don't even know who's the person who's selling that Chesterfield, right?
Yeah. Well, I haven't put a bid on many Chesterfield.
Okay.
But I do. I just think it's so funny when someone's selling something and you send them a text and ask weird questions. I think it's so funny because I just want to see the person's face. They're like, why is this idiot asking this? You know, like, I don't know. I do love it. I get a real kick out of it. I know it's trolling or whatever you want to call it, but I love it. It makes my day.
I have to tell you, so I have literally never listed anything myself on I don't sell stuff on. My wife does. She few things now, not a lot, but every now and then. So we had to sell some. And so I don't know where she was going, but I had to monitor it, like put it. So I'm getting these messages and I've never done it before. Right. So I'm kind of waiting. Oh, it comes in, but I could not believe, I'm no joke. I got 10 messages in like the first 3 hours. 8 of them were like, is this still available? That's it. And I'm like, are you an idiot? If it was available, I would take it down. And I'm just like, so I'm like, yes, it's available. And then guess what? No response. I'm like, so what the hell did you ask for? Like, I couldn't. My mind was like, oh, it happens all the time. I'm like, seriously? This is like an online, when you sell things, people just, and I'm like, and then I started laughing. I'm like, is this Struds? Like, does he know you have an account? Because it seems like a lot of people just ask, still available, and then they don't respond if you respond. It's wild to me.
No, then my favorite's like, let's say you're selling something for $1,000, whatever it is. Would you take 300? And I usually write back, no, I'd rather burn it. Well, then they write back like, you're being unreasonable. I'm like, I know. So are you, asking for a 70% discount? It's like, and then I argue, but I love it. My wife's like, why do you do that? Because I actually enjoy it. I enjoy the back and forth. That's the whole part of when you get on that Facebook marketplace, or the action it's fast and furious in that crazy world, the online grad sale.
Oh, buddy. So I love the fact that you spend your spare time trolling people online who are just having a tough life. It's like, God, I got to sell this. I need $20 to buy a new pair of skates. And Struddy's like, I'll give you 7. Oh,
do you deliver? That's another one. I have to say deliver. It's so funny. I feel It's just funny. You ask for a discount, they say yes, and you ask if they deliver. That's where usually they lose it.
So when they ask for the discount, do you actually go through with it and buy these things at a discount?
Well, if I'm actually looking for something, like I remember one time I was looking for kids' golf clubs. Like I didn't want to buy my kids new clubs, so I was grinding. And the guy was 50, so I was trying to get him down to 25 or 30. Then I asked if he delivered, and that obviously is, he just worked him over and didn't want to deliver. But then you got to show up, and they're like, struggling? He's like, hey, how's it going?
Oh, God. That is funny.
I'll send my wife. Sometimes I'll send my wife, and then I'll stay in the car.
Oh, yeah, exactly. Go to the house, and the person's like, oh, look at this tool. And she's like, oh, hi, all smiling. It's like, beat it.
Well, one time I sold a bike, and I was meet me under the parking lot at West Edmonton Mall. And I'm like, oh, like, that's weird. Like, is he going to murder me? So I went in there. I was kind of ready to rumble, like I was ready. And I went in. The guy ended up being a really nice guy. He just wanted to meet undercover for some reason, which I don't know. It wasn't like we were having an affair, but I gave him the bike. He gave him the cash, and we left. But on the way there, I was like, this guy, I might have to fight this guy. Like, if he tries to steal this bike, maybe there'll be two of them, right? It's a big thing, because I'm underneath the parking lot at West Edmonton Mall.
So you mean like you're in the parkade, not under the parking lot?
Yeah, well, yeah, right. It wasn't underneath. You know what I mean? I was in the parkade, but under the cover, right?
Oh.
And then one of my friends is like, do you think he's going to jump you and steal this bike? I'm like, well, I didn't before you mentioned it, but now I think he might. But I've already committed to this sale. It was a pretty big deal. We're talking 4-digit money here. So I had to follow through.
I just can't believe that he agreed to it, and you're just like, I'll just meet you on the top level. Like, I'll give you $20 off, meet you in the top level. So
God.
awesome.
Funny.
What's funny? Like, so here, see, this is a classic Struddyism. Struddy will meet a stranger in the parkade where he's selling something, but not scared of it. No big deal. But, you got to get a little needle prick. Well, now I need 3 rums and Cokes before I can have one of those.
No. If that guy asked for a glass full of pee, I couldn't do it. I wouldn't be able to do it in front of him, but I'll sell that bike to him all day long.
Yeah,
but
no problem.
Couldn't do it. Even I'll give you $1,000 for a jar of your pee. Can't do it. If you have to do it in front of me, I can't. I wouldn't be able to coax a turtle out of its shell to get going.
How many online accounts do you have when you go to offer? Because you must rotate a few, right? Because you don't have the same one, Struds 43. I don't think that one still works.
No, I don't. No, I do. I have. So when I'm in the serious negotiations, I have my own one, but I have one that's not a burner, but let's say it's a different account.
It's a burner.
And I don't like using that. Sounds like I'm messing with people, but it's more of a fun account. And so I do have it. I don't want to give it up, because if anyone's listening, I start wheeling and dealing with, we're gonna have a problem.
Oh yeah, no, you want to be anonymous for sure. Well, most trolls are anonymous. I get it. I understand how it is.
You got to be. Yeah, exactly.
Now, Struddy, I want to get your thoughts on the orders, because like I think people are taking crazy pills even mentioning Zach Hyman on the third line. Like, what? Guy had 31 goals in 58 games, on pace for 44. He's old. He's not old as far as production goes. So until the production comes off, he ain't going down. Nugent Hopkins, on the other hand, I could see him. Do you think this is the year that Ryan Nugent Hopkins at 5-on-5 doesn't finish the season in the top 6 most minutes played per game 5-on-5 amongst order 4?
So a couple of things. Number one, eventually every player kind of slides down the lineup. Not every, 99.9% of everyone slides down the lineup. That's what happens. I don't think Hyman's there right now. I think for Nuge, it might be a look what they want, but you got to keep in mind the Oilers have other options to push into that top 6. But usually what makes a top six player, aside from the skill, is consistency. That's what separates them. So if you look at Kapanen, for example, he's had some injury issues, but he has the speed, he has the skill, he has the size. I would say he has the shot to be a top 6 forward. But putting it all together on a consistent basis, that's been the problem. But, that's a problem for a lot of players. Like, it's hard to be a guy who every night everyone's trying to check you in the top 6 or leaning on you, they're taking away, but you find a way to score. You find a way to put the puck in the back of the net. That's what makes you a top 6 player and or a top level top 3 player. So if I'm looking at the Oilers forwards who have an opportunity to move up, could Kapanen do it? Sure, he can. Could he do it every night? He hasn't done it consistently yet. Isaac Howard's another guy who's a massive wild card for me. I hope he's able to push up into a situation like Savoy did last year. That'd be great for the Oilers. But he's a youngish player and it might not be there. Some of the other guys could push up. That there's opportunities there, but you still have to do it on a consistent basis. And I think so. That's why. I'll answer your question. I think Nuge still ends up close to where he was last year, but I think more guys punch up into those spots. And can they hold it? That's the problem. Can you take the spot is one thing. Holding it for 81 games after you get it the first game, that's the problem. That's what Nuge has done for a long time. And until someone, I think, does it consistently, I'd like to see him getting chances, but can they hold it? That's the problem.
Yeah, no, that's fair, right? You get the opportunity. Can you maintain it? And staying healthy is a factor, but that's why I wanted to do like per game, because if some guy plays 60 games, another guy plays 75, he's going to end up with most likely more total minutes. But I was doing it on a per game. And I was looking at, Babcock's allocation of minutes for other teams. And the Toronto one, I'm not even sure it's fair to use Toronto, because when he took over Toronto, they were terrible, right? They were kind of like the Oilers coming out of the decade of darkness. And, they had some good years, made the playoffs, really young group of players. This team is totally different. This team's like his Detroit Red Wings team. And those teams, Struddy, he played 9 forwards. He had a 4th line, and he didn't even care if his 4th line scored because they didn't produce much. They just didn't get outscored. How much, what will be the biggest influence, do you think, defensively that Babcock is going to bring to the team?
Oh, well, I mean, it's a bit of a cop-out to say the details, but I'll give you some specific ones. What I'm looking at is, more consistency on the way they execute their defensive play through 60 minutes. There's times to be really detailed, obviously last-minute periods and stuff like that, but we've just seen at times they're loose in their own zone in the last year, let's say. And you've got to be detailed all the time because that's who you are. And it's an easy saying, but you are your habits, and that's exactly true. If you are in January playing a certain way, that's usually how you're going to be as you get into April, May, June, because that's kind of your habits. So you want to change those habits. So I think he'll be looking for consistent play in his D zone. And that doesn't mean you sit back and don't take chances, but consistently play the same way all the time in your D zone. Shift in, shift out. So it becomes your habit. And that becomes who you are. And that's right from top line right down to your 10th defenseman. And I think that's what I'm looking for. And it sounds like the players want to embrace that. And if you do that, I do think you get more opportunities the other end. But, you just look at some of the goals in recent years and at times pretty easy ones they could have defended. And it happens for every team. But when you're a team with Stanley Cup aspirations, you want to limit those.
That is totally fair. Struddy, Elks bounce back this weekend?
I hope so. I think this is, adversity, obviously. I mean, it's not the end of their year. They've got beat by 2 pretty good teams, and it wasn't like they were, just blown right out of it. But I think some adversity, this point of the season is good for them. They're still a top team in the league. People still talking about them. But, let's find a way to get a win and get your confidence back. And they're a team that's still kind of finding their way as a team that wants to be viewed as a winner. So, yes, I think they do bounce back. But, I don't think the sky's falling in because you lost to Montreal and Saskatchewan.
Yeah, I would agree. Struddy, thanks for taking a break from looking online. Enjoy your online search tonight to see who you can annoy.
I'll buy something today and let you guys know how it goes.
Oh, yeah. You let us know next week. What was Struddy's purchase of the week? What was your online purchase of the week with Struddy? Awesome. Thanks, buddy. Have a good one.
See you, boys.
There you go. It's Jason Strudwick. And Cons, you do that?
Oh, Struddy bought me my coffee table, actually, when we were working together on the night show back in the day.
Oh, you were looking for a coffee table, and Struddy said, I'll do it.
He's like, yeah, let me do this for you. And he went and found one. He reached out to the person. I picked it up the next day. Used that table for years. So
he didn't lowball him, did he?
I think he might have. I think it was $20.
No.
Lasted me
good coffee
solid
table.
5 years.
Solid
yeah.
Did they deliver?
No, we went and picked it up.
Okay.
But
You
no,
and Struds picked it up?
no, he wouldn't even help me out with that one. Actually, I was on my own. I had to get my buddy to swing by with a truck.
Oh, okay. Well,
Shout out Justin.
Struddy didn't have a truck back then, did he?
No, I don't think so. I think he was wheeling the kids around.
Yeah. He had all the kids under 5. He was in a van for sure. He loved his van back then. So,
But he would tell me, he'd see like a monetary number and he'd be like, how about a case of beer? And just, that was his entertainment. I loved it. So yeah, I think that could be a weekly thing with Struddy.
oh God, it might be. Yeah. What was your best purchase? Because I know some people find gems on there. Like, I'll be honest, I've never bought anything. I've never even gone to a site. I don't even know. Like, there's Facebook has one, right?
Facebook Marketplace.
Facebook Marketplace. Yeah. You have to have an account.
Yeah, I believe so. Facebook account. My wife uses it all the time. We've sold a bunch of baby stuff. I hate it because I'm the one who has to go do these deals.
Yeah.
And like, you can tell, like, I've met guys in the mall, like, your wife sent you, didn't she? Yep. So 2 guys just going to, finalize the transaction. But yeah, I scroll through Marketplace occasionally. I see some things like I want to get a fire table. So I'll search Marketplace for that. They're usually pretty, worn down though at this point when someone's moving on from it. So I think it can be a pretty useful tool.
Yeah, I'm probably missing out. Now, my wife does it. She does it. Well, she sells a lot of the stuff. Like, I don't know. I can't think of, like, I don't know. I would never, I wear my jeans until they worn out. Then they're no good. Like, who buys something, wears it for a bit, and then sells it after like 5 wears? Did any of you guys do that? Oh, look at this shirt I bought. You know what? Yeah, I wore it twice. Because I always joke, I'm like, you got too many clothes. How can you sell clothes that you've barely used? You clearly aren't using them. Right? I like to get a few pairs of jeans, wear them till they wear out, get a few new pairs of jeans. I don't need like 8 pairs of jeans. Why would I do that? I don't understand it. But I think we're different. Strengths and weaknesses. Everybody has them. Quick break. We'll come back with 5 questions on the Gregor Show, presented by PlayAlberta.ca.
Ready for a silly hockey fans. Your partner in power just skated onto the ice. EWEL.ca, the new e-commerce website for electrical wholesalers Edmonton, is ready for the power play 24/7, 365. UL skates to where the puck will be in 5 years. Now that's forward thinking. Killer selection, slamming products from the best brands, and legendary service. Don't sit on the bench. Get your account today at EWEL.ca and win that project. Plug into your partner in power. Get an EWEL.ca account today.
Tee up for a great day on the course and support the Stony Plain Eagles Senior Men's Hockey Club. It's the Stony Plain Eagles Golf Tournament. Gather your foursome and join the Eagles August 25th at the Links at Spruce Grove for a 2 p.m. shotgun start. Enjoy a fantastic afternoon of golf, great company, and friendly competition, all while supporting the Stony Plain Eagles. Get all the details and register today at stonyplaineagles.com.
Got a car you're ready to part with? Find out what it's worth, fast, easy, and totally free at Go Auto. We're talking top dollar trade-ins, whether it's a little worn or still rocking that new car smell. Just a few clicks, and boom, you've got your value. Text value to 780-777-7777 to start. That's value to 780 all sevens. Why guess what it's worth? Let Go Auto show you the money.
For all your welding supplies, think AWS Welding. Located in Nisku, their readily stocked storefront carries a wide variety of welding glasses, cylinder rentals, plus welding rod, wire, and consumables. Same-day delivery is always available. And if they don't have it, AWS Welding will find it for you fast. Visit their online store today at awswelding.ca or give them a call or text at 780-979-0470. AWS Welding. They make it happen.
At Papa John's, we know it's not just a pizza. It's a family gathering, a happy birthday, a special celebration, or just a sigh of relief at the end of a busy day. For a limited time, get large one-topping pizzas for only $14.99 each on original, thin, or New York-style crust. Use promo code L1499 at papajohns.ca or on the Papa John's app. Get yours today. Better ingredients, better pizza. Papa John's.
You got a go-to coffee spot, a trusted barber, even a lucky game day jersey. But when it's about looking your absolute best, there's only one name you need. Mr. Dirk. Family run since 1939, we're experts in crafting impeccable tailor-made suits and offering a wide variety of everyday styles. Pair that with personalized one-on-one fittings and the convenience of on-site tailoring. Mr. Dirk elevates your style game. Visit our Edmonton store or explore MrDirk.com. Score big on style with Mr. Dirk.
Yeah, it's me again. And if you're sidelined with a sports injury, you already know nothing's more frustrating than being told to just rest. At Leading Edge Physiotherapy, we get athletes moving sooner with our zero gravity treadmills. You can run, train, and rebuild strength with up to 80% less body weight, so your injury heals while your confidence comes roaring back. When your sports injury's yelling, whisper back, leadingedgephysio.com, because life shouldn't hurt.
Shaw Concrete products. From concrete and septic tanks to blocks, precast water pads, jersey barriers, and aggregates. Farmers, contractors, homeowners. Plan your next project at bashawconcrete.com. Family owned, over 60 years pouring. Bashaw Concrete products. Once again, start here. bashawconcrete.com.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Crystal Glass, your clear choice for residential windows, locally manufactured and installed. Crystal Glass provides a beautiful product and incredible customer services for all of your residential needs. Call 310-GLASS or visit crystalglass.ca for a quote.
The Jason Gregor Show, the best of Edmonton sports talk and beyond. This is Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
Rolling through on a busy Wednesday afternoon. Stats today coming up in half an hour. We have a story. Our stats of the day. It's almost like story of the day. Honestly, I read the story twice just to make sure, and I checked it a few other places. I'm like, oh my God, this is true. Like some weird things that people will do, man. Like it's an odd, like we all have thoughts in our head sometimes about some strange things you might want to do. But you don't really ever do it. Like this is what now, just I'll preface it. There's no physical harm here for anyone. Okay. So it's nothing like that. It's not psychotic. It's just idiotic. That's how I would say. So, but it's funny. Because he got it. Well, the end is what makes it fun. Now, let's get to 5 questions brought to you by The Brick. We're saving you more is what they do. It's your final day to get in on the Price is Right live event. Now, you can get in on prizes over $1 million. 1 in every 10 people wins. No entry required. No purchase required. Excuse me. Automatic entry. Get to The Brick today. You can win huge prizes at TheBrick and TheBrick.com.
It's time for 5 questions on the Jason Gregor Show.
All right, Jason, random Oilers question for you today. What is the biggest what if regarding the Oilers and the NHL entry draft?
What if? Wow. I don't well, the biggest what if is what if they don't win the 2015 lottery? Honestly, like what would have happened to, now Leon Draisaitl was coming. Would have happened as quickly? Who knows? But yes, I think easily the biggest what if. Well, actually, you know what? I think there's a bigger what if. The biggest, if we're doing the biggest what if in Oilers franchises, like franchise history.
Yeah, or what stands out to you.
Okay. So to me, the biggest what if has to go back to the first ever draft of the Edmonton Oilers. Because if you look at the 1979 draft, it set up the now I know they had Gretzky, But as you know, you need multiple superstars to win the Stanley Cup majority of the time. Kevin Lowe, Mark Messier, Glenn Anderson. 3 picks in one draft. 3 picks between pick 21 to 69, by the way. What if Barry Fraser wasn't good early?
I'll give you my 3 from more recent memories. I'll go back to 2021. What if instead of Xavier Bourgault, they take Wyatt Johnston? That one stands out.
I thought you were going to say, no, Wyatt Johnson. What if they took the goalie?
Well, yeah, Wyatt Johnson was right after and scored a lot of goals this year. So, yeah, that could have been the goalie as well. I'll go 2015 as well. What if they don't trade away pick 16 and end up with a Kyle Connor or Shabbat? I know it was Eriksson Ek that they liked, but a lot of good players there they could have gone with. And then to round out my top 3, what if in 2016 Columbus takes Puljujarvi and the Oilers take Matthew Tkachuk? Tkachuk playing with McDavid.
Yeah.
What if? Question number 2 for you. The Islanders doing a kind of an interesting thing to let fans vote for their 3rd jersey this upcoming season. Do you like the idea of getting fans involved? And of the choices, I sent you a link. Is there one that you like the most?
Go ahead.
I do like it. I mean, it's like, could a troll like me go on there and do it? I think you just have to fill out your information. So I do like the idea, though. I think it's kind of fun. And I might be in the minority here, but growing up was right when the Captain Highlander jerseys came out. So I always had a soft spot for those. So they have 2 versions, an orange version or a blue version. I'm going to go with the blue version. So the blue Captain Highlander, that would be the one for me.
The one on the on the top right?
Top right,
The
dark
blue
blue,
one.
yeah.
Oh, God. I just can't get it. The Captain Highlander and the wavy lines, that's different. I'll give you that. That is definitely different underneath the jersey because usually it's straight across and that's kind of like a wave. So obviously I get it. He's on the wave, right? Captain Highlander. I understand what that's referring to. But, hey, man, anybody who does a good job, because I can't draw anything, really. Barely draw a straight line with a ruler. So if the one I liked would probably be the one that said I like the letters on the front of the jersey.
The NY?
No, the Isles.
Oh, Isles. Yeah, I like that one.
Yeah. The one that just said Isles. You know what? There's no team some teams have done diagonals. The word ISLE, the letters ISLES right across. Simple, clean, and I like that blue coloring that they have. So that would probably be my guess. My pick.
Question number 3. Russell Westbrook announcing his retirement from the NBA, 9-time All-Star. I went and looked back at a list from ESPN about 5 years ago. He was ranked as the 68th best player of all time. What range would you rank him if it was talking about the greatest players of all time?
Yeah, so they have him around 70th. So, like all time, that's pretty good. Yeah, I 68. You know what? I almost think 68 is kind of high. I might have him maybe closer to like 85. Like I thought Russell Westbrook was good, but I'll say if we're talking just pure talent, he might be even higher. I don't know if he was ever good at making others around him any better. That's what I thought his weakness was. So that's why I can't put him too high.
Yeah, I think it's pretty appropriate for me. It's kind of a shame that OKC Thunder team that he was on never found a way to get the job done. Obviously, he went on a bit of a journey after that, but 9-time All-Star, an MVP, most triple-doubles of all time. He was dynamic. And he was drafted by the Supersonics, so I think that's cool. But yeah, I think mid-60s, I would throw him in there. Question number 4, the NFL preseason ramping up tomorrow evening. I believe we got 7 games. What is one storyline you'll be watching for this preseason?
Go ahead.
I think for me, and it's a divisional rival for the team I root for, but I'm curious about the Raiders and how Fernando Mendoza looks in his preseason and how that will grow in the season. I think they're going to lose a lot of games. I think they kind of have a tough schedule for the Raiders. And at what point does the coaching staff and management say, you know what, let's get him out there? I don't know if it's the best idea. I think if it was me, I would say, nope, we're going to have Kirk Cousins go out there for all these games. But let's see how Mendoza looks in these preseason games before we make a total decision. So that's what I'm going to be watching for. How does Mendoza look in the preseason?
Really, eh?
Yeah, I'm very intrigued by it because I like the guy, despite the fact that he plays for maybe my most hated team. I'm really curious to see because I think the best thing would be for him not to play this year, but I understand why teams would be tempted to do so.
Well, I actually like what they're doing there. They got a veteran. He should just be on the sidelines learning it. And if he gets in a game or two late in the year, awesome. I could see an injury coming and that might force him in, but I hope if the organization's smart, like Tom Brady's in the organization. He didn't start right away. Now, he also wasn't number 1 overall pick too. I get it's a different story, but once you're drafted, to me, it's kind of irrelevant, right? It doesn't matter where he got drafted. Once no one looks and says, "Ooh, you know what? This guy was a first overall pick." Like when you're lining up as a defensive lineman, that somehow you're going to be like, "Oh, this guy was." You're just like, "I want to sack that guy. I want to disrupt him." Doesn't matter. So, I would think Brady would be smart enough to realize that learning, you can learn a lot. Like he experienced, and he's talked about a lot, like what he learned in the film room, on the sidelines, that he wasn't ready when he first came in. And I think a lot of guys aren't ready. It's probably the toughest position to play in pro sports, I would think. Like, I wish there was a way, and we see a little bit with the camera, right? I wish there was a way to really show people how hard it is to play quarterback. Like, being an accurate pitcher and hitting the ball is a skill that's very hard to do. But I think most pressure, hardest one to do is a quarterback in football. So many people are coming at you, so much stuff going on in such a short period of time. It's wild. But I'm watching to see, do the Chiefs have any receivers? And the other storyline, just because I kind of find it funny now, are all of these stories about the Bills stadium true? Is the sightlines that bad, or is it like they've picked the 3 worst seats in the building and everything else is good? So that's what I'm curious.
Yeah.
Which means I don't care that much about preseason.
I think it might be the latter. Yeah. Final question for you today. It is National Milkman Day. So if you could bring back something from the past that's extinct or almost extinct, what would it be? There can be a couple if you'd like.
Ooh, almost extinct. Well, number 1, I think it would be awesome if people would go to restaurants and bars and no phones. So it's dare to dream. Another thing I would bring back would be Saturday morning Looney Tune cartoons on television, 7, 8 in the morning, bowl of cereal for your kids, and they watch cartoons. Unbelievable time as a kid. And road hockey. Bring it back. In droves, please. In droves. That should have never gone away. There's no reason for it to go away. And all of you who complain about kids being on the road, check yourself. You're the problem, not them.
I took Benny for a walk yesterday, and there were some kids playing soccer on the road.
Awesome.
And the ball rolled past me, and he said, "Sorry, sir." And I was a little taken aback. I was like, "Oh, that's the first time I've been called sir by a young kid."
Well, you should have said, "Dude, don't say sorry, man. I pumped you guys. Great."
Oh, no. That's what I said. Don't worry, man. This is the things I love to see. Watch out for cars. For me, things I'd bring back or like to see more of, obviously, customer service by humans. I hate when I have an issue with a company and I, try to speak to them and it's AI and you have to go through hoops just to try to get a human on the other side. And then Blockbuster was awesome. I missed that on a Friday night going out there looking to pick up a movie and maybe a video game. And one that will always harp out there just so we can try to make it back. McDonald's pizza, Gregor. Let's bring it back.
Yeah, we've talked about this before. Yeah.
We always have to mention it.
Yeah, I do wonder, like, the longer it's gone, like, do I remember it better than it was? That's my only concern, is if it came back, would it be as good? Would it live up to the hype that we've had about it, thinking about it for 3 years, Cons?
Absence makes the heart grow fonder.
As you know, and maybe some of our listeners, like, we've done research on this, it probably would never come back just due to the stores and all the extra stuff that goes into having any sort. But I was like, well, what if you just had like one McDonald's in each city that was or 2, whatever. And that's where you could get pizza. Just those 2 places.
That's the plan.
All right. Whatever happened.
I volunteer the West
Joe,
Edmonton area.
chat, what are you guys doing? This should be on the conversation slate. The next McDonald's Meaning, right? See who wants to do it, because somebody's going to do it. You should do it. Be unreal. Let's get to the con man and a sports 1440 update brought to you by Northgate Chevrolet Buick GMC. Where? Now's the time. You know what? Maybe you've had a really good summer. Or maybe you're just like, man, I need a break. Well, you know what you need a break from? Your vehicle. Maybe go get a new one. NorthgateGM.com. Your employee pricing is on right now. And check out the Corvette showroom. Ooh, it's a lot of class there. NorthgateGM.com.
The Sports 1440 update.
Just minutes away from the first pitch out in Toronto. Jays and Red Sox will have that one for you here on Sports 1440 immediately following the Jason Gregor Show at 6 o'clock on our AM feed. Right now, Padres Brewers tied at 2 apiece in the top of the ninth. In the first, the Guardians lead the Tigers 2-0. Pirates Marlins scoreless, as with the Nationals and Cubbies. Later tonight, Yankees host the Mariners, the Mets in Atlanta. Dodgers get the Royals, and the Rangers up against the Angels. Some finals for you have the Rockies over the Diamondbacks 6-4. Astros double up the Giants 2-1. Cards over the Phillies 7-1, while the Orioles fall to the Twins 7-5. 9-time NBA All-Star Russell Westbrook announcing his retirement after 18 seasons today. He was named the league MVP in 2017. Also has the most career triple-doubles in history, 209. Well, the Lakers are being sold once again, this time to Josh Kushner and Bob Iger for a record $12.5 billion from Mark Walter, who purchased the organization last year for $10 billion. And game one of the CEBL Finals goes tonight, Winnipeg and Brampton. That gets going in about 5 minutes' time. Coming up in hour 4 of the Jason Gregor Show, we'll be joined by Kevin Carius and get to the stats of the day. I'm Connor Halley. This has been a Sports 1440 update.
Sports 1440 in West Edmonton Mall and Wetaskiwin. CKJR is a Stingray radio station.
Download the free radio player app and listen wherever you go.
Not sure what wheels fit your vehicle? Evolve Wheels and Tires gives you honest advice from enthusiasts who know fitment inside and out. Whether it's your truck, SUV, or sports car, they have you covered. Evolve Wheels and Tires, Edmonton's premium wheel specialists. Evolve your ride. Evolve your experience.
Kickoff is coming August 15th. Elks, Argos at Play Alberta Field at Commonwealth Stadium. It's Family Day presented by Goodwill Industries of Alberta. Youth 17 and under get in free for an early afternoon contest. Conditions apply. Tickets and info at goelks.com/tickets.
Come on down to the Brick. The Price is Right live event is on now. Enter in-store for your chance to instantly win from over $1 million in prizes. No purchase necessary. Then shop incredible savings throughout the store, like up to $2,220 off select sectionals, up to 40% off select mattresses, up to 20% off select major appliances, and up to $600 off big screen TVs. Plus, finance with 0% interest and equal monthly payments on qualifying purchases. Hurry in before these offers end August 12th. The Brick, saving you more.
He's a legend in the booth and a master on the mic. Low Tide brings the banter weekdays from noon to 2. Sports 1440 is where Edmonton talks sports. Get in the game. Text 833-401-1440.
Tap into the fun of Play Alberta's most popular casino games. From the fast-paced spins of Cash Eruption to the retro thrills of Sevens Wild, online excitement is always at your fingertips. Spin through your choice of popular slots or discover Alberta-exclusive games you won't find anywhere else. Visit playalberta.ca/Gregor to learn more. That's playalberta.ca/Gregor. Must be 18 plus to play. If you gamble, use your game sense.
Oodle Noodle origin. In 1864, Francis Oodle took over his dying father's business as a leatherman. He was quite proficient, but his heart was never truly in the trade. After his father's death, Oodle met a cocksure young man named Vladimir Nudell, who was a trailblazer in the popular new art of food boxes. They formed a partnership and aimed to ply their trade in the New World. At Ellis Island, Nudell was renamed David Noodle, and henceforth, the franchise has been known as Oodle Noodle.
Are you a skilled laborer? All-Star Construction wants to talk to you. A heavy equipment operator with Traco or backhoe experience? All-Star Construction wants to talk to you, too. With work in and around Edmonton for local land developers, All-Star Construction offers year-round employment. Whether it's power, gas, or telecom, developers rely on All-Star Construction to get the job done. So if you're a skilled laborer or a heavy equipment operator with Traco or backhoe experience searching for work, search All-Star Construction on Indeed.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Japa Machinery. Big jobs, tight spaces, serious reliability. Emerald Equipment is now your local Yanmar dealer. Compact track loaders, mini excavators, wheel loaders, Tough, reliable machines built for any job. JapaMachinery.com.
This is Sports 1440, where Edmonton talks sports.
On YouTube, Facebook, and X.
Here's Jason Gregor.
Brought to you by PlayAlberta.ca.
Sunny day. Great tune, buddy. Great tune. How you doing on a Friday afternoon? Hope you're having a wonderful day. Jason Gregor, Connor Halley, Declan Kruger, Sports 1440, sports1440.ca, YouTube, Facebook, X, and Instagram. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. Be sure if you're watching, hit that subscribe button. We always appreciate it. Hit it like as well. It's always brought to you by PlayAlberta.ca, where you can get in the game. And while you're there, PlayAlberta.ca, check out the Jason Gregor Show odds boost. Now, the game has officially started, so now it's off. But we had the Guerrero home run, dare to dream, not so obvious game day prediction today that Guerrero will end. It's almost, Connor Halley, it's almost a full calendar year in the regular season since he hit a home run on home. That's wild. Now, obviously, he hit a few in the postseason. It's unreal, but man, it is... it's wild to think that it's coming up on a calendar year and he doesn't have a home run at home. Wild, wild stuff. Now, let's get to the Carius Report, brought to you by GS Construction, your underground infrastructure specialists. They are hiring, continuing to grow and expand. Even in the rain, they're slugging it out. You could be if you're a pipe layer, operator, or they're hiring a superintendent. Who wouldn't want to be the super? Be awesome. What do you do? Super. Just all that. That'd be my answer to everything. If I was a superintendent, just be a super. So check it out at gsconstruction.ca and check out careers as Kevin Carius joins us as Spec continues to be on holidays. KK, how you doing?
Good afternoon, Greg. It's good to be with you. Looking forward to our little segment as usual. And your Vladimir Guerrero prediction, that might be called the sniff and glue prediction of the day. How's that sound?
Hey, buddy, it's amazing, though, to think that he hasn't got a home run at home this year. He's only got 7. Like, he's basically hitting a home run in, 6.4% of his games, which is unfathomable considering what he's done. Like, he had, for the previous 5 years, he had the 9th most home runs in Major Leagues Baseball. Mm-hmm. And now he can't get a sniff.
He basically cost me our American League draft because, we have 3 keepers. But so he was available and I grabbed him 4th overall. And I mean, you can't have a player at 4th overall with that kind of production. So I got the opportunity to keep him for next year because we go on 2-year cycles in fantasy baseball. I'm going to keep him again and hope that this is just a one-off this 1 year and he can find his game next year. That's what I'm hoping for.
Yeah, it is. It's wild to think that, he could do this for a 2nd straight year. Now, there are some people texting, hey, man, this started a little bit last year in the regular season. His numbers were down slightly, but then he rebounded in the postseason. And so I thought Joey Votto had a fantastic explanation. I liked how he explained it, talking about Vladdy. And he said, quote, he goes, he's just not backlegging or back hipping. His forward move is delaying his barrel from snapping in place. He sees the ball, knows it's drivable, but his move causes the bat to lag, keeps him from getting the barrel to the target. And, it's similar. You mentioned on your show, you had or Franchek outlining that. And so it's now, obviously it's not maybe that easy to fix, but it's clear that some guys who are real baseball aficionados have seen what the deficiency is.
There are a lot of people that have seen it. And I'll still agree that nobody's working harder on this than Vladimir Guerrero. And I mean, we can't know that. We don't know the amount of time that he puts in the cage. And you just hear reports from all the guys that we've had on, your show and my show earlier and our shows and this and that. Everyone knows that he's been putting the work in, but for some reason he, and Vladimir Guerrero is the first to say it, he has better batting practice sessions and he feels confident there. But once he gets to a game, for some reason, he's losing that confidence. And he's not able to translate that into what he should be performing at the dish. But hey, you know what? They're still hanging in there without him. And if you think about it, he had more home runs last year in the postseason than he's got this year.
Yeah, that is that's crazy stat, right?
Yeah.
1 month compared to 6. That is that's some wild stuff. Was down at the Elks practice today, and JC shared the defensive guys I talked to. They just said, you know what, man, it was our tackling. Because I asked them, like, what's the element of your game that you want to get back? And it's like our tackling. And they had like tackling drills today, angles, body position, all those, where's your head, everything like that. And it's never a kind of like Vladdy. It's not a lack of will. It's just, smart technique and execution. They're going to have some changes as, of course, the rookie Reed's going to play in place of Logan Jr. Cons and Declan both view this as like a very pivotal game for the Elks. They've lost 2 in a row against really good teams. But now you have a chance. Like, if you lose this one, it's 3 in a row suddenly. And it allows Winnipeg and Calgary to get right back in it behind you. So this is a pretty big game. And I think it's also a big game just for the organization. When you're a team that's trying to still convince your fans that, okay, we're legit, everything's good again, these are the games you got to win.
Well, they come out of the gates with 6-1 record, and that got the fans back for that Saskatchewan game. There's no denying that. And there were a lot of Saskatchewan fans at that game. But now we're going to see a different kind of crowd on Saturday against Toronto. That's one side of it against, off the field. But you mentioned Kenny Logan Jr. They're going to really miss him because he's the kind of guy that has the ability to be successful and make an impact in wherever he moves around, because he can move around. He's got the ability to do that, and he can hunt opposition players and make the tackles. So they're going to miss him a lot. I don't know a whole lot about the guys that are coming in for this game. Everyone knows that Toronto passes the ball a lot, and we're going to see that. So we'll see what the secondary can do. And everyone knows that Toronto has trouble stopping the run. So I would imagine we'll see probably a little more dosage of Rankin. And I've been saying it for 2 years with Eddie on the show. I would love to see more of Rankin and Javon Leake on the field at the same time, in the backfield. And that just confuses, I think, defenses. I'd love to see a little bit more of that type of play calling, because those two guys are so dangerous when they do get the ball.
Oh, hey, well, Justin Rankin. Well, I can tell you that there is a strong message stating get the ball in the hands of the playmakers. Full stop. So I am going to, if Play Alberta had a line for touches for Justin Rankin, I'd be setting it pretty damn high.
Yeah, probably double what he had last week for sure.
Better be double, arguably be triple. He should be close to between rushing attempts and receiving, like at least targets.
Yeah.
Whether or not he catches it or not, should be minimum 20. Well, not minimum, should be averaging 20 every game. It can't be 7. Seven is frankly embarrassing, Kev.
Yeah, high teens. Get them high teens because you still want to involve other players. It's you can talk about this in any sport. You still want to involve other players that are making plays, because the Double E, they do have some guys that can make plays as well. It shouldn't have to fall totally on Rankin, but he needs more than 7 or 8 a game. I'm fine if you double that. And again, he's going to get targets out of the backfield, and his hands are so good. He's going to make those catches on swing passes and dump passes. So those are the ones with the check downs with Cody Fajardo. If there's nothing downfield with his receivers, he can always check down to either Rankin or Leake.
Yeah. Well, I look at it and you consider, okay, you're going to rush the ball, let's say 15, 18 times a game. Like, no one's rushing it that much for the most part. Then you're passing it 30 times. To me, Rankin, if he's getting 20, that's still 38 for your receivers, right? Like, I don't see that being a massive, I'm out 48. So it's still 28 for your receivers. And, if Mac's getting 8 or 9, like that's kind of fine for me. I don't see anything wrong. I think Rankin should be at least 18 every game, because he's your best player, right? He's your best player. Like, yeah, you want to get other guys involved, but they're not going to do what he can do. So it's great, but you got to get him involved.
Yeah, I think we're going to see more of an aerial attack from both sides as well. Again, Toronto has trouble, stopping whatever it is. If you're going to run the ball at them and you can get those quick dump passes, but then again, they like throwing the ball. So again, the secondary for the Double E on Saturday, they're gonna have to come up with a really good performance, and that all starts with the D line. And they got to get some pressure on the quarterback, and we'll see what happens.
Kev, I've been asking the question today. We debated it on the show. Ryan Nugent-Hopkins was looking at 5-on-5 minutes, average per game. He was fifth on the orders last year, sixth at 13-16. McDavid, Draisaitl, Hyman, Roslovic, Podkolzin were higher. Is this the year we see Nugent-Hopkins kind of fall out when it comes to minutes per game, 5-on-5? Amongst the orders? Are we start to see a regression in his minutes this year, do you think?
I still think he's going to be in top 6. I think he might be at 6 again. I don't see other players moving into that. And I know you mentioned with Roslovic coming out. So who's going to be that guy that goes into that slot? Well, Podkolzin's going to be there. Could be a guy like, depending on, and you think about it, like when Mike Babcock was in Toronto, he had a good season and had a good repertoire with Kasperi Kapanen. So don't be surprised if a guy like Kapanen moves into maybe one of those guys that is in close to top 6, 5-on-5 minutes, because he's not going to be on the power play. The other guy that I was thinking, and I know he kills penalties a lot, but I wonder if Jason Dickinson can slide into maybe maybe he's not 6, but maybe he's 7. So maybe his role increases as far as matchups moving forward. So, but I still think Nugent-Hopkins is the guy. If you're taking Roslovic out, maybe it's Kapanen. Dickinson maybe sneaks in there for a couple extra minutes as well.
What's your expectations for Howard this year?
I need to see more of him. I don't see him in a top 6 role. I saw the thing that you said earlier, Griggs, about Hyman coming out of to the third line. First of all, who's saying that? Who's saying that he should be on the third line?
For Howard?
No, for Zach Hyman.
There's on Low Tide show earlier today, it was said, not by LT, by one of his guests.
By one of the guests. I don't understand that. That makes absolutely, I don't get it at all. And like Zach Hyman is going to be on Connor McDavid's right wing for as long as he continues to score. I don't see him dropping off scoring. I don't see him dropping off at all. I mean, we're talking about a 50-goal guy from a couple of years ago and then gets injured. So, you think about a full off season for him that he can totally strengthen that wrist. I don't see him moving off that line unless he stops scoring. And here's the other thing. Who out of the core group of the Oilers team, out of the core group that met with Mike Babcock, do you think had the most, input? How's that sound? It's Zach Hyman because of his time in Toronto. There's no way that Mike Babcock is taking Hyman off of that right wing spot with Connor McDavid. Not a chance.
Yeah, and even if he wasn't in the meeting, why would you? He had 31 goals in 58 games, a pace of 43. Like, come on. If you're gonna, if you want to open a door for a young player, first of all, they have to produce. But second of all, there's lots of other guys that you could take off before Hyman. Like,
he's not going anywhere off of McDavid's right wing. No.
And he did that coming off an injury. And he's going to be fully healthy. You know what? I'll be curious, to see what Hyman can do coming back this season. KK, we will talk a little bit more green and gold and orders. Maybe the Jays winners of 3 in a row possibly tomorrow.
Yeah, sounds good. I saw Vladimir Guerrero fly out to right field here, Griggs.
It was close, though. It was at the warning track, wasn't it?
No, it wasn't at the warning track. It was down in the right field corner. I mean, he's 0 for 10 now against Ronher Suarez, not Rangers. Not Rangers.
He's going to need his teammates to hit Suarez so he gets out of the game, and then he has a late inning home run.
I don't know. But you think about it, the Jays bullpen, how they've come on here, and it's the guys that are lesser lights. Like it was Simeon Woods Richardson because, he came in after Jameson Taillon couldn't go. And then last night, Lee filled in for Sisu. You always think you're going to get 7-8 out of him. And it was Lee, the main guy out of the bullpen. So we'll see. And Soriano's I think he's second or third in swing and miss rate in Major League Baseball. So, you know what? If they can sneak one more game out of here against Boston, Then you got the Yankees. And then after that, and we talked about their schedule as well, Grades. After they get rid of the Yankees, Boston, Tampa, etc., now they got the easiest schedule moving forward. So just stay in there. Stay in there. If it can be 2 games out or something like that, you're going to be fine moving forward.
Awesome, KK. We'll talk to you again, man. Have a good one.
Sounds good, Greg. Take care, man.
It's Kevin Carries joining us this week every day at 5 o'clock in place of Spec. We will take a quick break. We will return. Busy show. It continues on. We got, we'll hear from Robbie Smith, but the story for our stats today, our story of the day coming up next. The Gregor Show, Sports 1440, sports1440.ca.
Tee up for a great day on the course and support the Stony Plain Eagles Senior Men's Hockey Club. It's the Stony Plain Eagles Golf Tournament. Gather your foursome and join the Eagles August 25th at the Links at Spruce Grove for a 2 p.m. shotgun start. Enjoy a fantastic afternoon of golf, great company, and friendly competition, all while supporting the Stony Plain Eagles. Get all the details and register today at stonyplaineagles.com.
What's 426 divided by 12? Okay, if I carry the one, yeah, we're out. Go Auto has a free credit calculator that does the math for you. See what you could qualify for, estimate your payments, and get a better idea of what's in your budget. Because shopping for a vehicle is exciting, but crunching numbers, yeah, not so much. Text check to 780-777-7777. That's check to 780 all sevens.
It's dollar drink summer at McDonald's. Sip on a refreshing small fountain drink or a small iced coffee for just $1 each plus tax, all summer long. Only at McDonald's. Excludes flavored and cloud iced coffees. At participating Canadian restaurants. Taxes extra. Prices exclude delivery.
Scott McGilvery here, HGTV host and renovation expert. The one upgrade I know homeowners will love: better, fresher Culligan water straight from the tap. Culligan's Aquasential reverse osmosis filtration system takes your water to the next level. With up to 7 stages of filtration and 14 filter options, they're certified to reduce over 90 contaminants. Your tap water is about to get a major upgrade. Safer water that tastes great. Get started with a free in-home water test at Culligan.com. Culligan, water you love.
You see it? Fusion Promo Marketing can make it. Fusion makes high-quality, memorable promotional products for businesses, sports teams, and corporate events. From vision to reality, get noticed and remembered. Fusion with a Z. Promomarketing.ca.
Performance by Action Electrical today. Their projects team kicks things off, designing and building with unmatched skill.
Then the service team swoops in for those crucial repairs and maintenance. And don't forget the testing team, ensuring everything's safe and sound before the solar team scores with sustainable energy.
A complete team effort. Have Action Electrical bring home a win for you and your project. Visit actionelectrical.net.
Whether you're a craft beer connoisseur or more of a wine aficionado, there's always something new to discover at Sherbrooke Liquor, a unique family-owned independent liquor store. The selection, incredible. The non-alcohol section is also very impressive. Sherbrooke Liquor, expert, knowledgeable staff with a passion for unique finds. More than just a liquor store, we're a community. Alberta's best, the one and only Sherbrooke Liquor. Wine, spirits, and oodles of beer. Visit SherbrookeLiquor.com.
You don't just need property services, you need problems handled. HireGood provides cleanup, debris removal, site monitoring, and safety attendance across Edmonton. We reduce issues on your property, keep spaces safe, and take pressure off your team. We resolve real problems for businesses while creating real impact, because our team is built on second chances, and they show up every day ready to prove it. Visit hiregood.ca or call and mention Jason Gregor for a first-time discount. HireGood. Stable jobs create stable lives.
We were at a party. I was having fun. He wasn't. He grabbed my arm, then yanked me towards
the front door. Was under his watch 24/7. He installed a doorbell camera to control me, to keep me at home. It hurt.
More than you can imagine.
Tech abuse is real abuse. If you or someone you know is using technology to harm or control, change is possible. Learn how to end the violence at alberta.ca/endgbv. A message from the Government of Alberta.
Employee pricing is back at Nisku Ford. Pay the same as Ford Motor Company employees. Plus, get the benefits of being a Nisku Ford customer. You'll have the best selection of new Ford vehicles from our great lineup of SUVs, from Bronco Sports and Explorers right up to the Ford Expedition, and Ford trucks from the Ford Maverick, Ranger, F-150, and Super Duty. Ford employee pricing is the biggest event on the Nisku Ford calendar. But hurry, it won't last forever, and inventory is limited. Take advantage of employee pricing today at Nisku Ford. Above expectations.
Well, get ready for a silly hockey fans. Your partner in power just skated onto the ice.
EWEL.ca, the new e-commerce website for electrical wholesalers Edmonton, is ready for the power play 24/7, 365.
UL skates to where the puck will be in 5 years. Now that's forward thinking.
Killer selection, slamming products from the best brands, and legendary service.
Don't sit on the bench. Get your account today at EWEL.ca and win that project.
Plug into your partner in power. Get an EWEL.ca account today.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Cantork, made in Canada, made for Canada, where extreme isn't theoretical. Find your solution at cantork.com.
The Jason Gregor Show, the best of Edmonton sports talk and beyond. This is Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
$5:30. Welcome back, Gregor. Halley, Sports 1440, sports1440.ca, YouTube, Facebook, X, and Instagram. Okamoto just hit a double con, man.
You did.
Ooh.
Left corner.
There you go. There you go. So runner on second with one out. At the conclusion of our show, we'll get you right to live action of the Blue Jays right here on Sports 1440. If you're listening on the radio, maybe they'll have a run or two by then. We shall see. Now, we've been teasing a little bit, so let's get to it because it is. I am curious to hear the feedback from many of you on. Do you have a story similar to this? Because I think you'd be hard pressed. But anyway, let's get to our stats of the day. Today, it's story of the day, brought to you by All Star Construction, underground utilities company, specialize in power, gas, telecommunications, street lighting, and they are hiring. Go to Indeed.com and look up All-Star Construction, and you can find out what they're hiring for. Construction laborer, backhoe operator, gas piping technician, equipment operator, and more. Check it out at Indeed.com under All-Star Construction. So we get the stats of the day all the time, but today I thought it would be story of the day because most of us have never heard of Zach Holland before. Zach Holland clearly has a creative mind, a mischievous mind, and desperation, cheating, all kind of rolled into one. So Zach's a member at the Wing Haven Country Club. Many of you listening are probably members of a golf club. And, you know, usually you have like the club tournament, right? And that's for members only. You play a tournament. There's like the men's champion. There's the women's champion. Everybody has, you know, their separate ones and you have a good time, right? It's a pretty big event. And, you know, if you're pretty serious, you partake in it and there's like different scores. Everything's great. So at Windhaven, they you know, like a lot of courses, they have a little juice and different fun things that they do. And so while they're playing, there's also a pot that you can contribute into. And so if anybody gets a hole in one, they win it. All right. Seems kind of fun, right? We all know hole in runs are rare. Just ask Tyler Remchuk. Hi-yo. So they're rare. So away you go. Now, you tee up. And usually you know when you're teeing off, right? That's pretty common. So let's say you're the first group to tee off. That means you're the first at hole 1, first at hole 2, first at hole 3, first hole, all the way through, right? So you know that. And on hole number 4, Zach gets a hole in 1. The people in the foursome they're celebrating. and everyone's excited. But keep in mind, there's a fair amount of cash on the line. And here's where the story gets a little bit odd. So remember, his group teed off first. So they're on the first hole. They're playing. Hey, how's everything going? So he told people before the round, he said, hey, sorry, guys, but I'm going to have to take an important call at some point during the round. My grandmother's sick, and if that's the call, I got to take it. So everybody's like, oh, that's understandable, right? Hey, Cons, you know what? Grandma's sick. You know what? On her deathbed, if I get a call, I got to take it. Because usually you don't want people on their phone on the golf course. But I guess if you give them advance notice, everyone's like, okay, we're all aware of it. So they play the first few holes. He's par, he's doing okay. Third hole, phone rings. Answers it. Gets off phone and says, hey, guys, I got to take this call. And so what I'm going to do, as they're finishing the third, he goes, I'm just going to run ahead and hit my ball so we don't slow up play. Okay. So he runs to the fourth, tees off, boom, hits his ball, comes back, and his group, everybody hits. No one saw him hit the ball. They're like, where'd you hit? He goes, well, I hit the green, it landed, and, I thought I hit it thin. So they walk down to the green. They're looking around. Oh, there's a big divot. And then in the hole is his ball. And the group's they're going crazy. Well, as they go around, people are talking, hey, and they're like, how was it? And they're like, well, I didn't see him shoot it. And now everybody's fishy. Well, guess what the golf course has? A video. So this guy at 6 a.m, and they're teeing off early at 8. At 6 a.m, he drove up and walked out to the fourth hole and made a divot and then put a ball in the hole. Walked back to his car, drove to the parking lot, had breakfast, sat around, convinced everybody the entire story. Got caught. You do all of that just so you can win. Now, I don't even know how much, because in all the stories, I never read how much was in the pot. But that's pretty devious to plan it all out like that, to go ahead and think that, the one time you hit a hole in one, no one actually sees it go in. But your buddies are, well, I don't know how close of buddies they were, but they're in the force and the ball's in the hole. You saw him leave here, go to the tee box. You're like, well, he couldn't have ran down, placed the ball in the hole, and come back. Right? It's physically impossible. So I get why his group at the time were just like, hey, good for him. So now, of course, Cons, he gets caught, doesn't get the money, and he's out of the club. So my question to you, Cons, have you ever experienced cheating at a level like that?
No.
Have you ever caught a friend cheating in like a card game?
Don't think so. Like the biggest one for us would be going back to when you'd play Halo, and it'd be like four screens on the TV, and you would screen watch and find out where your player was, your opponent was hiding, and you would know pretty quickly. Went back to GoldenEye, actually. That would have been the original. That would probably be the closest thing for me. But even that is nowhere near as close as this one in terms of putting in the preparation to do this. He must have been thinking about it for a long time to have this plan. Then to use an excuse about your dying grandmother is sinister as you know what. It's just crazy. For what? A little prize money? And now you're kicked out of Winghaven, which by all accounts looked to be a beautiful private course.
Pretty good course.
Nice pool, nice little restaurant in there. That's just ridiculous. Like if there was a loser of the day, and I know he's owned it, that's great. This guy gets it. He might be loser of the month.
Ooh, but he only owned it because he got caught.
Exactly.
Right?
Does he not think that nobody would look into this? Yeah, I hit a hole in one. Who saw it? Nobody. Like right there, skepticism's going to be created.
Oh, without question.
Oh, and you won a prize, like cash prize? Okay. Yeah, let's check the cameras. That's wild.
Yeah. That's a wild story, man. Hey guys, I played in tournaments and people shoot absurdly low scores, but it's hard to prove they're cheating. But this is insane from Trey. We got a lot of texters about golf cheating stories. Hey guys, nothing to this level, but in our club championship, one of the guys got caught cheating. He was foot wedging constantly. What he would do on the green is he would mark his ball, and then when the other guys were playing, he would just slowly inch his marker closer and closer to the hole every time. Oh, wow. Now, yeah, because, well, I know, I guess it'd be weird because usually if you mark your ball, then you move away from it, right?
Mm-hmm.
You don't just stand there at it. But man, club championships, like, obviously I've never been a member of a golf course, but I think if I was, like, I don't know, like, if you cheat and win, then you know you cheated. Now, no one else knows, and maybe it's worth it to you, but deep down, you always know that you cheated. You always know you cheated. So, hey, Greg, did you see the interview with this guy? He had the audacity to tell reporters he's not a cheater from Grant. That is, that's a wild statement. I'm not a cheater. What do you mean you're not a cheater? What do you call that? He's a planner for sure. But that's some wild stuff, man.
Apparently not the first time, though. He's lied about his handicap as well.
Yeah. I got this from Rain. We got this from Nick. Hey, guys, that story better be worth it. I was waiting. It was worth it. Thanks for that. Oh, there you go. Well, I'm glad you like it. I'm telling you, like, I never heard a story like that before. Because it's just wild to think, Cons, like all the planning. I got to get there early. You have the ball mark, and then you put the ball, and obviously it's the same ball, which isn't that hard, right? Like you just get a different ball, right? You probably scuff it up a bit so it looks like it's been hit once, maybe. Even then, you don't have to, because on 4 holes, sometimes your ball could be perfectly clean if you've hit the fairway and the green most times, right?
Mm-hmm.
Then you play with the group. Then you plant the seed early. Yeah, I'm going to have to take a call sometime. I want to know who called him at the 3rd hole. Did his phone actually ring, or did he just pretend it was ringing and it was on vibrate?
It's wild. We got a text on YouTube, or a chat on YouTube, Gregor, saying, "This is so funny, kind of like the fish weight guy." Remember that story, putting the lead in the fish to...
Oh, yeah. That's a good one. Very good story, because it's true, right? It's very true. It and people do it. Sadly, like I guess your competition, man, just kind of gets I don't know, takes the best of you. It's wild. Hey, Grant, there's lots of golf cheating. I heard there's a club that makes all golfers with top scores play the last hole in front of everyone. Yeah, but that's only 1 hole. Right. And even a good golfer can have a bad hole. So you'd probably have to make like the last round or something. Right. So. Guy's a genius. He just got caught. Well, they say, though, if you get caught, are you truly a genius? You're conniving, but you're not a genius if you get caught. Right? The genius would be the guy, who was that airline pilot that they never caught? Right? Remember that guy took all the money? Yeah. Now that guy's a genius.
He could be dead. Well, he's likely dead.
He's probably dead.
He could have died immediately.
He might have, but they never found anything.
The best masterminds are the ones we don't know about, I guess.
Well, probably. Right? There's somebody out there right now who has devised a plan of something, and they've yet to be caught, and they feel really good. It's like the people that, they siphon money out of the company for many years, and they get away with it, and they get away with it, and they get away with it. Sometimes they probably do get away with it, and no one ever catches them. But there's a lot of cases that you eventually get caught. Right? People do it for like multiple. You've heard those stories of multiple years. Hey, Gregor, how did he know he was teeing off first? Well, Doug, good question. Supposedly they had announced it the day before what the foursomes would be, so you arrived at your time, so you didn't have to be there that early. Because this one wasn't a shotgun start. It wasn't like everybody teed off at different holes, because obviously that would never work. It was they were going out first of the day, so they had to be there earlier. So.
Now, if you were living in Missouri where this happened and he tried to get into your private club, would you want him in? Or is this a big enough offense where you're like, nah?
Well, so it's funny you say that, Cons, because right now I know at the bars, right? Let's say you go to On the Rocks and you get kicked out at On the Rocks for something, fighting egregious or whatever. Now, if you go to another bar and they scan you, guess what? They're like, no entry.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know, like the private clubs that are members only, would they have a banned list? Probably in the state, maybe. But what if he moved to like California? They probably wouldn't know. Unless, somebody might know. Because if you're at a golf club, I'm guaranteeing you've heard about this story. If you haven't heard yet, you'll hear about it. Because more clubs will be looking and they'll be like, okay, we're going to have to remind our members, let's not be like this guy. So but that's a wild story, man. So there you go. That was our story of the day. Don't be Zach Holland, okay? You don't want to be Zach Holland. Not good. Quick break. We'll return to Gregor Show presented by PlayAlberta.ca.
Noodle, 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 noodle. Noodle, 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 noodle,
Throw a load down to Oodle Noodle tonight because dine-in is open.
Hi, Mike here from Northgate Chevrolet Buick GMC. Car shopping sucks. That's right. Going back and forth 100 times just to get a price. Give me your credit card for a test drive. What's all these extra fees? That sounds ridiculous. At Northgate, we do things a little differently. Good deals on new, pre-owned vehicles, good people, and a great selection. And don't forget about our employee pricing. Stop in and see us today, 13215 97th Street, or visit us online at northgategm.com.
You're in Northgate country.
The job isn't done until the last load is hauled, and having a semi-trailer out of commission is not an option. Whether replacing or adding to your convoy, Edmonton Trailer has a huge inventory of new and used semi-trailers, trusted by the gravel, logging, oil field, fluids, and freight industries. Find a trailer right for you online or at one of their 3 locations. For sales, service, parts, rental, and finance, when you're in it for the long haul, Edmonton Trailer.
Come on down to the Brick. The Price is Right live event is on now. Enter in-store for your chance to instantly win from over $1 million in prizes. No purchase necessary. Then shop incredible savings throughout the store, like up to $2,220 off select sectionals, up to 40% off select mattresses, up to 20% off select major appliances, and up to $600 off big screen TVs. Plus, finance with 0% interest and equal monthly payments on qualified purchases. These offers end August 12th. The Brick, saving you more.
This summer, cheer on your favorite teams at Sully's Sports Bar and Lounge. Never a bad seat in the house with tons of big screens. Plus, Sully's Big League menu has it all. Small bites and big bites, game day food and drink features, something for everyone. From the gridiron to the diamond, this is the place to catch all the action all summer long. Sully's Sports Bar and Lounge at all 3 Century Casino locations, Edmonton, St. Albert, and Century Mile.
Every day is game day at Century Casino.
Does your bank do local? We do. When you bank with Vision Credit Union, you're banking with a rural Albertan cooperative that cares about the community where you live. There's no question. We actively support our rural communities at the local level through charitable donations, volunteerism, local team and event sponsorships, and by returning millions in profit shares to our members every year. Does your bank do that? We do local. Bank with Vision Credit Union. VisionCU.ca.
Employee pricing is back at Nisku Ford. Pay the same as Ford Motor Company employees. Plus, get the benefits of being a Nisku Ford customer. You'll have the best selection of new Ford vehicles from our great lineup of SUVs, from Bronco Sports and Explorers right up to the Ford Expedition, and Ford trucks from the Ford Maverick, Ranger, F-150, and Super Duty. Ford employee pricing is the biggest event on the Nisku Ford calendar. But hurry, it won't last forever, and inventory is limited. Take advantage of employee pricing today at Nisku Ford. Above expectations.
Portions of this hour brought to you by the Nation Golf Tournament, Friday, August 28th, 2026 at Millwoods Golf Course. Golf, drinks, swag, food, and fun. Every swing supports Gregor's grads and helps graduates shine on graduation day. Sign up at nationexperiences.ca before it sells out.
The Jason Gregor Show, the best of Edmonton sports talk and beyond. This is Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
$3:49. We get set to wrap up the show. Gregor, Kruger, Halley, Sports 1440, sports1440.ca, YouTube, Facebook, X, and Instagram. Hey, boys, the acting by him must have been Oscar worthy. Well, that's true, right? Hey, there's a single by Guerrero Cons. We're on the board.
He's working his way up.
Right, where he's working his way up. We'll take it. What do you want the hit for? Is that like some career number? Hit?
I mean, it might just be because it's a hit at this point for Vladdy. He is keeping the ball, though.
Yeah. No, that's true. There you go. Well, hey guys, how do you ensure he was the first and out to put in the third hole to ensure that he was the first to tee off in the fourth? Well, he made up the story that he was going to run ahead and hit because as he putted in on the third hole and then said, rather than wait for you guys, I'm just going to run and hit it so it doesn't slow it down. Like he had a plan because you're right. I have no idea what his score was because technically he shouldn't be hitting out of turn. But because it was allegedly the story of Grandma dying, he had to take the phone call. They probably said, you know what, whatever, you don't have to hit in turn. Right? That was all part of the plan. He just didn't plan that there would be cameras because they're watching. Gregor, this reminds me of the great Seinfeld that you always quote. Jerry, it's not a lie if you believe it. It's so true. Right? I'm not a cheater, but sadly right now, in our world a little bit too much, there's people just kind of accept, oh, well, no, if it's the person that I voted for, it's okay to lie. No, shouldn't that'd be like saying, well, the kid I birthed, it's okay if he lies. No, as a parent, you freak out if your kid lies. You don't like it. It's amazing to me that was the one. I've never understood that mindset. I don't get it. Hey, Gregor, what about the guy who wanted to buy the orders? John Larac in 88. He claimed he was representing a wealthy Swiss businessman, Lester Mittendorf, and said he had the money to buy the orders and keep them in Edmonton. He actually came to Edmonton, met with officials, toured the area, collected autographed order sticks, and even had dinner with the mayor. He announced the deal was imminent. Oh, I do remember that story, buddy. He was, you know what? The NHL there for a while wasn't the best at vetting their potential owners, right? Look at the Islander sale.
John Spano or whatever.
Yeah. Like, so there was not a great, sadly, fraud and everything else is not, it's not as rare as we'd like it to be, right? Not as rare as we'd like it to be. That's not, it's never good. It's never good. So. Greg's, I needed a laugh today. Had a rough one. Good thing. That's what I love about sports radio. It takes my mind off of the real important things. Well, hey, yeah, man, I totally fair with that. Now, don't worry. We can get you fired up about other things, but some days you got to have a laugh, right? We had Strud's getting people fired up about him. He has a burner. He doesn't want to call it that, but what else is it? It's a burner account when he goes on Marketplace and other places just to kind of rile with people. Tries to negotiate a very low price, and then if he gets it, then he asks him lastly, do you deliver? Oh, my goodness. I'm not going to lie, Cons. I kind of wouldn't mind doing that to my wife once. No, just to set up an account to do it. God, like if you knew certain people what their account was online that they were listing something, and if you could just Like, I don't know if I'd want to do it to strangers. It'd be more fun to do it to people I knew. And then when they tell the story about something, I'm like, oh, I can't. That's not true. There's no way that happened. And then they would show you the interaction. Oh, that would be good. Because you could do that for a while ongoing. Right? Now, see, that's a harmless prank, buddy. That's not cheating. Not going on the golf course, faking a hole-in-one. Wild. Wild stuff. Hey, did anybody see Karras' hole-in-one go in? I should have asked. I'm going to have to ask him that tomorrow. Did anybody actually witness it go in? Now I'm curious. Because Mr. Holland can't be the first guy to think about manipulating a hole-in-one. On behalf of Kruger and Halley, I'm Gregor. Have yourselves a wonderful Wednesday evening. We got Blue Jays baseball coming up live next on Sports 1440. Here's the Con-Man Sports 1440 update brought to you by Sean Cunningham of Real Max Real Estate. Get the home team advantage for your next move in the Edmonton area. If you're thinking about buying or selling a home, call or text Sean directly, 780-265-0165. Good night.
The Sports 1440 update.
Jays in action right now against the Boston Red Sox.